Tonight from Honolulu, the 2013 football season begins for Hawaii with their traditional pregame Warrior Walk into Aloha Stadium as they prepare for the battle ahead. And that battle will not be an easy one as the number 24 team in the land invades the island with their Heisman candidate ready to lead the Trojans to victory on opening night. Summer break is over. It's time for college football.
There's nothing better than the offseason in the Aloha State.
There's nothing better than the offseason in beautiful Southern California. What did I do?
What did I do? When you're a Trojan. When you're a Rainbow Warrior.
There is no off season.
There is no off season. Months of hard work.
All leading up to this. All leading up to this.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. For game time.
For game time. For game time.
Tonight's season opening game on CBS Sports Network is presented by Pep Boys. It is another beautiful day in paradise, and there's a buzz in Honolulu as the 24th ranked USC Trojans visit the Rainbow Warriors. And here comes Hawaii, looking for its first win over a ranked opponent in 3 years. USC arrived on the island Tuesday. They have never lost to Hawaii, 8-0 all time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Aloha Stadium alongside Aaron Taylor. I'm Andrew Catalan. All the hard work in the offseason leads to this. There's something special about opening night, and for both of these teams, it's the first chance to improve upon disappointing 2012 seasons.
Yeah, there's no question, Andrew. For USC, it's the road to redemption. They've got to get their swag back after their disappointing last year. And for Hawaii, this is year 2 under Norm Chow. They're in their rebuilding process and trying to improve upon their 2-game win streak.
A lot of questions surrounding USC, including one they usually don't have to answer. Take a look at this run of USC quarterbacks, starting with Carson Palmer. He won the Heisman, so did the man who followed him in Matt Leinart. Then John David Booty had a run as USC starter. Mark Sanchez started for the Trojans, and for the last 4 years, it's been Matt Barkley. But the question tonight still remains unanswered. Cody Kessler and Max Wittek both expected to share time.
Yeah, no question. Similar production from slightly different quarterbacks. Cody Kessler's a former point guard in high school. He's an efficient playmaker, student of the game, and has a lot of the intangibles. Max Wittek, on the other hand, physically gifted quarterback, big arm, big upside. Look for one of these guys to separate themselves out. And maybe one of the players that's, in my opinion, quite possibly the most electrifying playmaker in college football when he's got the ball in his hands is Marquise Lee. There's a chance if Lee improves on his year from last year, he will lead the Trojans' most prolific receiver.
Well, former USC offensive coordinator Norm Chow in his second season at Hawaii, and he's down on the field with Lauren Gardner.
And he is ready to go, Andrew. Coach, he has yet to even take a snap, but you speak highly of quarterback Taylor Graham. What is it you like so much about him, and what can we expect to see from him here tonight?
There's probably some pregame jitters, but once he gets started, hopefully he'll be okay. He's practiced hard. He deserves this opportunity. We'll see how it goes.
Thank you, Coach. And Andrew, Graham has not played in an actual game since high school, but of all the great QBs he's worked with, Chow says that he ranks second behind Carson Palmer in terms of mechanics.
Thank you, Lauren. Lane Kiffin and Norm Chow used to carpool together to USC practice when they were both assistant coaches for the Trojans. Kiffin kicking off his 4th season on the USC sideline. Our opening kickoff brought to you by Bud Light. Hawaii won the toss and they will receive to begin the game. USC preseason number 1 a year ago, but lost 5 of the last 6 to finish with a 7-6 record, including a loss in the Sun Bowl to Georgia Tech. Ranked number 24 in the preseason poll. And Hawaii last year with a record of 3-9, including a streak when they lost 8 games in a row. Chris Gant back deep for Hawaii. They're on their feet at Aloha Stadium, and we are set to go. Opening kickoff of the 2013 college football season. Andre Hidari will boot it away for the Trojans in their road whites. And we are underway at Aloha Stadium. Gant in his own end zone. And he is tackled at the 23-yard line. And Hawaii will start on offense. A 24-yard return for Gant. Taylor Graham. This is his first start since his senior year of high school back in Wheaton, Illinois. Transfer from Ohio State, sat out last year, and he is set to run this Hawaii offense on 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun. Graham feeling the pressure, sacked immediately. Devon Kennard bringing the heat. Deion Bailey also got in there too, Aaron.
Yeah, no question. Defensive coordinator Clancy Pendergrass on the first play of the game. Deion Bailey, the converted weak side linebacker that started tonight at the strong safety position, just comes off the edge, and that's something that 50 defense proves to have. And sacks were a problem for the Rainbows last year.
Penalty on the play, and this is a false start.
5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
You mentioned the problem last year. Hawaii's offensive line surrendered 40 sacks, which was dead last in the Mountain West. 2nd down and 20 for the Rainbow Warriors.
Not the way you want to start your drive off behind the chains. Welcome to college football, Taylor Graham.
Looking to throw again, deep down the sideline, and he overthrows his intended receiver. He's looking for Gant, but it'll bring up 3rd and long.
Let's take a look at these lineups. Keep your eye on number 71, the center, Ben Clark. He's last year's offensive MVP as a true freshman. He's going to need an anchor, a line that's already had its hands full in this game. There's some other good players and backs. Afonga Wiley, because of the injury to Joey Osifa, he's the one that gets a start tonight. They're going to need to get something going on the ground.
Just trying to get out of the shadow of their own end zone. They run it on 3rd and long, and it'll bring up 4th and long. Lamar Dawson in on the stop for USC, and immediately a 3-and-out for the Rainbow Warriors.
Well, that's understandably to be expected. You don't want to start your first series going 3-and-out, but I think in the long run, Andrew, that's going to help Taylor Graham getting hit on that first play of the game so he can kind of shake some of those cobwebs out.
Ruben Guzman, a transfer from Riverside City College, kicking deep to Marquise Lee, who's waiting at the 50-yard line. Guzman, a lefty. And this is a wobbly kick that bounces at the 35. USC is going to have great field position. It rolls a little bit in Hawaii's favor, but they'll still start close to midfield with 13:16 to go in the first quarter. 46-yard punt for Guzman. Well, Cody Kessler is going to get the start for Lane Kiffin. His first career start. The sophomore out of Bakersfield, California, played at Centennial High School. In his senior year, he threw 36 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But last year, he only threw 2 passes. He was 2 for 2 for 9 yards.
So you're saying he completed 100% of his ball. That's pretty
perfect.
Good.
Pro-style offense for the Trojans, and they start with a handoff to Trey Madden, and he crosses midfield into Hawaii territory. 4-yard gain for Madden.
Let's take a look at some of these lineups, Andrew. There's USC's offensive line. Keep your eye on their center, number 66, Marcus Martin. He's the leader. He needs to be the anchor there. He was recently named the captain for them. And that running back, because of a lot of injuries, somebody that played linebacker last year, Trey Madden, is going to be carrying the run load. He's already got his first carry tonight. They're going to need some production for him until Silas Redd gets healthy.
Hoping to have Redd next week. He did not make the trip here to Hawaii. Madden getting the ball again, and this one is close to a USC first down. Pickup of 5 on the play. Moses Samia in on the stop for the Rainbow Warriors.
Little different strategy with the first series of this ball game last year when they had Matt Barkley. They scored a touchdown on a simple hitch. And Marquise Lee took it to the house. This time, 2 straight runs to start this drive, and my guess is on 3rd and short, they're going to pound it right up there in the middle as well.
3rd down's an issue last year for the Trojans, just 34%. This is 3rd and 1. The tight end Grimble in motion. Right back to the ground. It's Madden, but we have penalty flags on the play.
Andrew, it's not uncommon in games like this early on. You have some procedural stuff. These are the first live bullets.
Start. Number 82, the offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's on the tight end, Randall Telfer. He's been banged up throughout summer camp. He's going to come out. And Aguilar checks in for USC on now what is 3rd and 6. Just a beautiful evening in Honolulu. A bit breezy. More so than the last few days when we were here, but the sun is shining. And a good crowd on hand at Aloha Stadium. 11:50 to go first quarter. 3rd down and 6. Kessler rolls out on the run. Has Aguilar first down at the 40. Still on his feet to the 32-yard line, and USC moves the sticks. Charles Clay knocked Aguilar out of bounds.
Yeah, that time, Hawaii's defense crowding the line. But one of the things that Lane Kiffin likes to do is get his quarterback outside the pocket, and there he hits Nelson Aguilar, who's a player that had a tremendous spring, a really good camp. They're really excited about the balance that he's going to bring so that teams can't double-team Marquise Lee.
In the final inter-squad scrimmage last week, Aguilar had 9 catches, 250 yards, and 3 touchdowns for USC. Again, just a scrimmage, but he's capable of putting up some big numbers. And now another whistle. And a timeout.
Timeout, USC.
Called for by USC. Opening night in college football, USC and Hawaii. And let's take a look at Aaron's 4 to look for. What do you got here, AT?
Well, these are just things I want to see tonight out of both of these teams. And for USC, for their defense, first year underneath their defensive coordinator, Clancy Pendergrass. He's aggressive by nature, but can they rattle Hawaii's inexperienced quarterback? I think that's been a check mark in the first play of the game. And will one of the quarterbacks emerge for this USC team? I think the longer that goes on, the longer it could become a potential problem for them. And then for Hawaii, can their offensive line control the line of scrimmage, both in pass protection and running the football? They've struggled a little bit so far. It is early in this ball game, but they'll need to shore things up. And then finally, can the Hawaii defense limit USC's big plays? If they're going to score, they got to make them earn it, and they're doing pretty good so far on this drive.
Well, they're already doing better than last year when on the first play from scrimmage, Marquise Lee went 75 yards for a touchdown.
I was watching that game film, and I kept trying to rewind it because I know it's like this cannot be the first play of the game. 75 yards for 6.
Lee also took back a kickoff, 100 yards in that game. A win for USC, 49-10. Matt Barkley had 4 touchdowns. Following the timeout on 1st and 10, Madden up the middle. And he's brought down at the 28-yard line after a pickup of 4. Let's take a look at the Hawaii defense.
The defense this year switching from a 4-3. That Tampa 2 going to be a 50 defense under Clancy Pendergrass. We're talking about Hawaii. Moses Samia, big problems on the defensive line for Hawaii last year, but good thing they got Art Laurel, who returns, a very versatile playmaker to be able to make plays for them. And Merrill Jackson was tied for first in tackles last year for the Rainbows. They're going to need him to be able to make some big plays and help them in the run game.
2nd down and 7. Kessler, quick pass for Lee, and it's over his head, incomplete. And you can see a little extracurricular. Hawaii's game plan was to play Marquise Lee physical. And immediately some contact after that incomplete pass.
And that's what you want to do, especially when you have a playmaker like that, Andrew, is to be able to disrupt his timing, be physical. Don't allow him to get free releases, because one of the things he does so well is accelerate. He goes from stopped to full speed right now, so you can already tell Rainbow Warriors playing with a little bit of swag on their shoulders. Big third down for them.
Naquan Phillips was the man applying pressure to Lee. 3rd and 7. Madden slips, and he is stacked up at the line. Nothing doing for Trey Madden. Short pickup on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Trojans.
Huge stop that time on 3rd down for the Rainbow Warriors. Remember, what a different start to this first game. That gives you some confidence early in this game. But when Madden cuts back, there's a lot of pursuit. Look at all those black helmets around the football. That's how you play big defense, but they got to get it done here on 4th, Andrew.
USC going for it. 4th and 4 from the 26-yard line. Aguilar in motion. Kessler again rolls out to his right. On the run, throws to Lee, and he's got it. And incomplete. It looked like Lee initially made the grab, but when he went to the ground, he dropped it. And USC cannot convert on 4th down.
Interestingly, in this game last year, Marquise Lee, even with the incredible individual game that he had some drops as well.
Kessler rolled out on 4th. Lee had a chance, couldn't bring it in.
College football on CBS Sports Network is brought to you by Pep Boys. Trust the boys to get you there. By Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Welcome back to Aloha Stadium. No score. First quarter, USC and Hawaii. Following the Marquise Lee drop, Hawaii has it 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. Taylor Graham was sacked on the very first play from scrimmage. Rolls out here, chased from behind, throws, and it's picked off. Intercepted by USC. Suya Cravens, the freshman. The first USC freshman to start at safety since Darnell Bing in 2003. Coaches have been raving about this guy, and he makes an immediate impact for the Trojan defense.
Andrew, what they said they love about Suya Cravens is his nose for the football, his ability to be able to break on the football, tremendous ball skills, strong hands. Look how he breaks on this. Times it jumps in front of the receiver as if he was the receiver. For a true freshman to be able to do that and make such a big play in this game is outstanding.
The 2012 USA Today Player of the Year. Now let's see if USC can capitalize off the turnover on 1st and 10 from the 38. They fake the pitch to Madden, dump it off underneath to Grimble, and the tight end bullies his way inside the 30. 7-yard pickup for USC, and Taylor Graham on the phone. A rough start for the Hawaii quarterback.
Yeah, you have to wonder, with so much time off since he's played a real game, how's his confidence going to be able to hold up? Will he implode? Will he start to get worried? Will he try to change some of the things that he's done? Or will he settle down, get back to fundamentals, and start executing?
Second down and 2. Give it to Madden, spins out of one tackle, has the first down, and still going to the 24-yard line, and a late flag comes in.
Heck of a run that time by Madden. Breaking tackles, there was a lot of penetration by that Hawaii front, but they couldn't close it off to get it done.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 23, defense. Penalty to be, of course, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Call on D. Magid, the junior out of Tacoma, Washington. Let's go down to the sideline and Lauren Gardner.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, those past 2 series have done nothing to shatter Taylor Graham's confidence. He's jogged off the field upbeat both times. He even walked up to Chris Gann after that missed pass, gave him a fist bump and said, hey, man, you stay out there. I will definitely get you.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Kessler throwing on first down, has his man out of the backfield, and that is Jaleel Pinner, the fullback. And USC continues to move the ball down the field, a 5-yard pickup on the play, knocked out by Male Payai.
It's really clear what USC is trying to do early on in this ball game, Andrew, is attack the flat, short, high-percentage passes, get the ball into the hands of your playmakers early on, and so far it's been working.
Aguilar and Lee, top of your screen. Madden, the running back, and Pinner, the fullback. They give it to Madden up the middle at the 5, and he's inside the 5, down at the 1. And that's enough for a USC first down after a 6-yard gain.
Nice push that time by the left side of that offensive line, number 72, Chad Wheeler, and number 75, Max Turk. Offensive line's been in position, Andrew, where they've been pretty banged up. A lot of musical chairs and shuffling around. With all the injuries they've had, it'd be nice to be able to punch this one in for the big guys up front so they can get some confidence.
First and goal for the Trojans. Madden is stuffed. That was Brennan Daly bringing the heat and knocking Madden back for a loss on the play.
Great call that time by defensive coordinator Tom Kallmeyer. To be a good linebacker, you have to have instincts, read your keys. If you see it, you got to hit it and get it done. And that time, Daly does an excellent job of timing his blitz, coming up with the big loss.
There's the defensive coordinator, Tom Kallmeyer, in his second year on second and goal. 7:50 to go, first quarter. They fake the pitch again. Kessler, end zone, incomplete.
That's the third or fourth time that USC's got Kessler outside the pocket. Both of USC's quarterbacks, Kessler and Wittek, do a pretty good job of throwing outside of the pocket on the run. That time, the Hawaii defense was able to rattle him and get a hand on him, whereas before he was just out there and was able to throw some passes without being impeded.
Marquise Lee is on the sideline on this third and goal play for USC. They pitch it left to Madden, trying to cut back inside, and he is dragged down at the 3-yard line. Daly again in on the stop for Hawaii.
Great job by Daly, but also some great backside pursuit by that Hawaii defense. Madden wanted to cut it and get north and south, but again, look at all the black jerseys. They are flying to the football, and that's what you want out of your defense.
Now Hidari comes on for the field goal for USC. Junior kicker out of Bakersfield, California. 22-yard attempt. And the kick is good. USC is on the board with 7:05 to go in the first quarter, but a tough goal line stand there from the Rainbow Warriors. They hold the Trojans to 3. 7:05 to go, first quarter. USC is on the board thanks to the field goal by Hidari. Here's a look at that USC scoring drive. Came after the pick by Cravens, 8 plays, 35 yards, and officially a 20-yard field goal for Hidari to give the Trojans a 3-0 lead. But Aaron, give it up for the Hawaii defense as USC had great field position, first and goal from the 1, didn't get in.
No question, they bowed their back, and that's what you got to be able to do, and that does so much for your confidence early on. Defensive coordinator Tom Kallmeyer has to be feeling good about what that unit did. That was a backup, strong side linebacker, TJ Taimatuia, that made that play, and it was a heck of a play. You got that pursuit from the second level, you're going to make a lot of plays. Hats off to the Hawaii Rainbow Warrior defense. And hats off to me for pronouncing that last name right.
Yeah, kudos, man.
Whew, I took a breath before I said it.
Chris Gant, I got his name. That worked out well for me. He's back deep to receive the kick for the Rainbow Warriors. At the goal line, Gant will take this one out. Slips a tackle, and he's finally brought down at the 20 by Quinton Powell, the freshman out of Florida. What do you think will happen next? Pass, rush, interception? Make your prediction with the CBS Sports pre-play app. Go to cbssports.com. download the app and start playing along during college and pro football games. Well, the good news for Hawaii has been their defense, but the offense has looked sluggish. A sack on the very first play from scrimmage, an interception on the last play. Let's see what they do here. I'm going to put it on the ground.
You're 0 for 2 on your first plays of sack and interceptions. You better dial it up on the run. But let's take a look at this USC defensive lineups. Hey, they're only going to play two defensive linemen because one of them's Leonard Williams, who's an absolute beast. Nice mix of athleticism. And then at the linebacker position, who also play defensive end, Devon Kennard coming back from an injury, and Sua Cravens has already made his presence felt.
Hawaii hoping to keep it up tempo, not going to huddle too much today. Not huddling here, 5 on the play clock. And they get it out quickly to the tight end, Mullenny. And Mullenny has a Hawaii first down.
Not surprised to see the play choice from both of these teams be to throw those short underneath passes, high percentage passes, attack the flats early to start to build some confidence.
Here it is again, no huddle. Put it on the ground to Wiley, trying to get outside. He doesn't. Kennard is right there. Devon Kennard missed all of last season with a chest injury. He's come out fired up here in the first quarter, just a 2-yard gain on the play.
Part of being a good defensive player is setting the edge. You see Kennard getting upfield, keeping leverage, disengaging, and then making an explosive play on the linebacker. That is textbook technique and play from the linebacker returning from the injury.
There's a 2-yard loss on the play, so call it 2nd and 12. Again on the ground, and the ball comes loose, and that's Graham, the quarterback, that dives in there.
Like it, heads up play by the quarterback. That football is precious. You got to be able to protect it, but Hawaii's got some momentum going a little bit. This is a 3rd and manageable. They got to make sure that they protect that football. And again, if you're a running back and you're in there getting your chance, Wiley's got to hold on to that sucker.
3rd down and 8.
We got it, we got it, we got it.
Graham, pass is caught for a first down. Heck of a catch by Scott Harding. The junior out of Australia picks up 10, and Hawaii moves the sticks.
They brought a corner blitz that time, so he was locked up one-on-one on Sua Cravens. Great timing route, pushed it upfield, turned around for the stop. Ball hit him in the numbers. Taylor Graham's starting to get some confidence, but nice job running that route by Harding that time. They need more of that.
Back to the ground they go with Wiley, and he gets his way up towards midfield. Hayes Pullard in on the stop for the Trojans. 3-yard pickup on the play. From Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii, 4:35 to go first quarter. USC has a 3-0 lead on Hawaii. Andrew Catalon, Aaron Taylor, and Lauren Gardner with you. We thank you for joining us to kick off the 2013 college football season. You can join the conversation on Twitter as well.
Is that a fullback dive? That's straight high school right there. I love it. That's basic football 101. Unfortunately for them, Lamar Dawson was there to come up with the big stick. But hey, if you're Hawaii and you're sitting here looking at 3rd and 6 in midfield, you've got to be able to find a way to be able to convert this. This is a huge play for the confidence of the offensive side for the Rainbow Warriors.
Another 3rd down, 3rd and 6 from midfield.
Pressure off the edge.
Deion Bailey coming, and there's the sack. Leonard Williams in there as well.
Great job by Deion Bailey coming off that outside edge. Defensive coordinator Clancy Pendergrass loves the strong safety blitz off the edge. You see him at the bottom of your screen there, not in protection. The back recognizes it too late. You've got to be able to have somebody accounted for that backside safety or get rid of the football. USC applying the pressure early, Andrew.
Marquise Lee back deep to receive the punt. And this one bounces at the 15, and it stops at the 11. When we come back, we'll see more of Marquise Lee, the dynamic wide receiver for the Trojans.
by 3-0, and you're listening to USC's Fight On, composed in 1922, and as legend has it, blared from the deck of an American battleship to rally troops as they prepared to disembark in World War II. That's now just one of the many songs played by USC's marching band, who practice 2 times a day, sometimes even have 3 a day, as that effort did not go unnoticed, as Coach Kiffin and Marquise Sweet last Friday rented an ice cream truck and brought the hardworking musicians some sweet treats. Aaron, you have seen these practices in person. They're no joke.
You're right, Lauren. They are no joke. It's like a drill sergeant. They're band leader, man, and they're right. They practice 2 or 3 times, and I'll tell you what, for the USC football players that I've known in the past, they have a healthy respect for that band.
By the way, Lane Kiffin gave the assist to his wife for that idea to bring the truck as Trey Madden takes the handoff on first down. Band leader is Dr. Art Bartner. He is an intense man. 44th season as USC's marching band director. Lane Kiffin said nobody has an appreciation for the band, and that's why we wanted to do something special. Pretty neat to have the head coach and the star wide receiver show up at practice on a hot day with a truck full of ice cream.
He's going to have to get treatment on his vocal cords as much as he yells. 2nd
down and 7. Kessler is still in there. Flag on the play. Aguilar was the intended receiver.
Again, USC attacking those flats, but Hawaii better be careful because you can run some chair routes or some out and ups. And if you start biting on all that stuff underneath.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 41 defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's a big penalty on Art Laurel, the senior linebacker out of Hawaii. And again, Lane Kiffin said he didn't have a game plan in terms of how long each quarterback would go. It wasn't quarter by quarter or series by series. Here we are, 2:20 to go, first quarter, and Kessler is still in there for the Trojans.
Yeah, USC runs a pro-style offense, but this is quite a bit different offense with Kessler under center than it was last year when you had Matt Barkley, a proven quarterback. A lot more running.
Kessler looking left, pass is knocked down at the line.
I think that was Tavita Woodard, number 11, the defensive end there, 6'4", 260 pounds. Got his big old meat paws up there as a defensive lineman. Great job of athleticism. Actually, that was a defensive lineman next to him, number 91, Moses Samia. They wanted to see him to be able to make a play, and he does a good job of timing it, getting his hands up. Hawaii's defense showing some athleticism early.
And again, the run game, nothing doing. That was Justin Davis that time, the freshman out of Stockton, California. 4-yard loss on the play.
I was just a play early. I tried to give Tavita Woodward some love early, but he waited a full play to be able to get there. Great job coming off that edge, holding the point, not getting out leveraged, disengaging and coming off. That's textbook play from that position.
3rd down and 13. Flag down on the play. It's a screen and nothing doing for Trey Madden, but we'll see what the penalty flag is. Art Laurel on the stop along with Naquan
Prior
Phillips.
Snap, false start, number 77 offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So right tackle Kevin Graff. This offensive line, again, is one of those places that when you're on the road, you've had a lot of different faces in a lot of different places. You got to be able to hold your water, but I think you got to give credit to Hawaii's defense. They were stemming that line and bluffing, and that could have made him jump a little bit early.
So now it's 3rd down and 18. Kessler again, a screen to Madden, gets away from one and gets back close to the original line of scrimmage, but that'll bring up 4th down. Morrell Jackson on the stop for Hawaii. And here comes the USC punt unit.
I tell you what, this Hawaii defense has to be fired up with what they're able to do. This was a big deal for them last year. The game started out ugly early, but they're more than holding their own here in the first quarter.
Scott Harding back deep for the Rainbow Warriors. Alvarado's punt Bounces out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Hawaii hanging tough, down 3-0. Last year, USC was up 35-0 at the half against Hawaii. Here, late first quarter, Trojans clinging to a 3-0 lead as we take a look at tonight's icy hot injury report. And both teams without their starting running back. Silas Red did not make the trip for USC. And Joey Iasafa also out with an injury for Hawaii.
Yeah, no question. Both of these teams, important for them to get their running games going early. But I got to tell you, this Trojan team's as banged up as any team I've been able to see. And for Lane Kiffin to be able to do what he's done with so many bodies banged up is pretty impressive. But I think it's allowed some room for some younger guys like Sua Cravens, who's already made his presence felt, getting more reps than maybe they would have.
Red with the knee, Iosefa with a foot. Both hoping to return soon for their respective teams. Reversing field for Hawaii and with a step. And a first down. Taylor Graham was in on that too. Bubba Puilueni with a 19-yard gain. They can't believe it at Aloha Stadium.
Oh, man. Reversing field is never smart, but great job by Taylor Graham there to help his buddy out. Now, his coach may have some words of wisdom and coaching points on him throwing his body around like that, particularly with his throwing shoulder, but that's all the pop that Taylor Graham needed to knock that rust off that he's had since high school.
Before that play, Hawaii had 1 rushing yard for the game. Now on first down, Graham in trouble, and Leonard Williams rips him to the ground. The freshman All-American a year ago, preseason All-American first team this year. Very dangerous player up front for the Trojans.
Yeah, you see him here kind of on the hash mark right there. Good, getting good push, stops, but look, he doesn't give up on the play. That's his burst and acceleration there.
Direct your attention first.
And that's the end of the first quarter. After 1, Hawaii hanging in there. They trail USC 3-0 on the opener of the college football season from Aloha Stadium in Honolulu. USC has not lost an opener since 1997. They have a 3-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. College football on CBS Sports Network continues all weekend long, starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern as Morgan State travels to West Point to battle Army. Then on Saturday at 7, Miami of Ohio takes on Marshall in Huntington, West Virginia. And the weekend action wraps up Sunday at 6 from Sports Authority Field at Mile High between rivals Colorado and Colorado State. Start of the second quarter. Hawaii has it on 2nd and 17.
More pressure off the edge.
Gets rid of it quickly. And big pickup for Hawaii. That's Lankilde, who comes close to a Rainbow Warrior first down.
Great play call there by the Rainbow Warriors. If you want to get the defense to stop blitzing, dial up your screens, your draws, delays. That time Taylor Graham gets the ball out of his hand quickly. That second level of that defense took itself out of the play for blitzing. It was a nice pickup and a makeable third down for Hawaii.
3rd and 2. They're 1 for 3 tonight on third down conversions. Fake the handoff, incomplete. Kennard was coming back there again for USC as this Trojan defense continues to apply pressure to Taylor Graham.
Yeah, that one's on him, though. That was wide open. He just put too much arm behind it, kind of one-hopped it off the ground. You got to be able to have nice touch. That's one of the things that Norm Chow, as you see him take that big breath right there, that exhale, he knew that that was a missed opportunity to give them a new fresh set of downs. Taylor Graham has to make that play.
Scott Harding, the wide receiver, also can punt. And the Aussie knuckles one down inside the 10. Look at this. How about that? Last year, Harding made starts at wide receiver, punt returner, punter, and holder. A 37-yard punt right here from the 27-year-old Scott Harding.
Yeah, this Hawaii defense has been great all day, getting pressure, making contact with the backs behind the line of scrimmage, doing a good job getting hits on the quarterback. They wanted to be physical. They wanted to be able to control the line of scrimmage, and so far they've done a very good job of trying to take it to USC. Very different outcome early on in this ball game than it was a year ago, but they got to be careful here because Trojans with number 9 out there has the ability to stretch the field very vertically.
Mark the ball at the 1 on 1st and 10. Kessler in trouble, and he's brought down. Safety, and Hawaii is on the board. John Hardy to Leo, bringing pressure in the end zone. Kessler is sacked, and now USC will have to kick off. Art Laurel also back there in the end zone. Let's take another look.
This is what it is you want to do. Great job of hustle off that backside. He beat the right tackle, number 77, Kevin Graff. The offensive tackle position right there, both of them getting beat, and you see that pressure coming from that other side. Art Laurel, good job. The very athletic linebacker making his presence felt.
Last year, Laurel had 13.5 tackles for loss. That was tied for first in the Mountain West. And a big one here with 14:06 to go in the second quarter. And Aaron, you got to give a big assist to Scott Harding, the wide receiver, who after that punt knocked the ball deep down by the 1-yard line, and that helped create the safety.
No question, Andrew. Last year in this ball game, Hawaii had a very similar situation. They pinned USC back, but it was back-to-back penalties that gave the ball to the Trojans, like 1st and 10 at the 20 or the 25. They spoiled that opportunity, but this time, maybe we're starting to see this Norm Chow team grow up in year 2 and start to believe, because you got to think that the number 24 team in the country in Hawaii has a ball game on their hands. Worst thing you can do, Andrew, is let a team believe that they got a chance to beat you, and that's exactly what the Trojans are doing.
Much different story than a year ago when USC was up 20-0 on Hawaii after the first quarter. Alvarado's going to punt this one away following the safety. Gant is back deep for Hawaii. He takes it at the 25, straight up ahead to the 40. Gant is still going in midfield. Gant spins, and he's tackled at the USC 40-yard line. Great field position for Hawaii. After the big return from Chris Gant, the senior out of Long Beach, California, with a 35-yard return.
This team has to be feeling very good. Chris Gant's an explosive player that these coaches like about when you're returning the ball on a punt, which basically this is on the free kick. You got to get yourself north and south, and that's exactly what Gant did. And you see he's fired up. Now, when you got momentum going your way like this, Andrew, if Hawaii's smart, they're going to take a shot for the end zone and try and put some more pressure on this Trojan defense. But they got to get rid of it quickly because that pressure's been getting to them.
Graham will throw. Has a little bit of time over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Had time there and could not connect with Scott Harding.
Scott Harding's going to wish that he had that one back. A lot of that momentum you just lose when you have a plays there, but you can't capitalize. But you got to be able to have a short-term memory. Forget about it. Get a big chunk of this back on 2nd and 10.
Nothing doing here. Miscommunication, and Graham throws it deep and incomplete.
Yeah, they had one-on-one coverage that side. Usually the rule of thumb is if you're even, you're leaving on an option route. If you got the DB on your hip, you keep going. That's what Taylor Graham thought that he was going to do, and Gant had other thoughts.
Brings up 3rd down and 10 for the Rainbow Warriors. Graham gets rid of it underneath. It's caught, juggled and caught, and that's close to a Hawaii 1st down. It's Harding. Check that, Wiley, who made the catch. Fungo Wiley, the freshman.
Yeah, this is 4th down. You got to go for this absolutely with the momentum at your back. You don't even think about it. Line up, call the play, push the pile.
4th down and 1. Norm Chow says go. No huddle again for the Rainbow Warriors.
Hike it, run to the nose technique.
They give it to Wiley, and he falls forward for a first down. Funga Wiley graduated high school 3 months ago. Was not expected to see this much action this early, but because of the injury to Iosefa, Wiley gets the start, and he picks up a big first down here for Hawaii.
I think it looked like Hayes Pollard was up there near the line of scrimmage. It might have been offsides in the neutral zone there. They don't call it, but it doesn't matter.
So first down and 10 for Hawaii with 13 minutes to go in the first half. Wiley again, and he picks up 9 on the play.
One of the adjustments that Hawaii's made when you're bringing a lot of pressure off the edge, it leaves the defenses vulnerable up inside in the middle. That's the area of the field that you now see the Rainbow Warriors attacking, both in the run and the pass game.
Kennard brought him down from behind. It was a 6-yard pickup on the play, so it's second down and 4.
Middle of the field is wide open.
Graham, quick slant, and incomplete. He threw behind the wide receiver. Funga Wiley from a great high school program here in Hawaii, Kahuku High School. And there's his uncle, Taylor Wiley, who's a character on Hawaii 5-0. So Taylor's down on the sideline rooting on his nephew. Third down and 4, and this time USC comes up with a big stop. That's Jabari Ruffin, the freshman. Little extra pushing and shoving, and now a flag comes in late.
That's the frustration of the Trojans right now. They're on the road. This is a team they dominated last year, and they're starting to get frustrated, and that's a true freshman, Sua Cravens. USC starting to lose their composure. They got to be able to reel this thing back in.
There are unsportsmanlike fouls on both teams. 81 green, 10 white. Those penalties offset. 4th down.
Haynes for Hawaii and Pollard for the Trojans. Hawaii now is keeping its offense out on the field on 4th down and 4, and now Norm Chow sends out the special teams unit.
Yeah, this is a little bit more makeable of a field goal, and when you've lost all that momentum, man, go ahead and kick this field goal and take yourself a 2-point lead if you can make it.
42-yard try for Tyler Haddon, the junior out of Whittier, California. Kick is up, and it is good. And with 11:43 to go in the first half, Hawaii has taken a 5-3 lead on USC. Much different story than a year ago. Hawaii getting it done on defense and special teams. Hawaii has taken a 5-3 lead on USC with 11:43 to go in the second quarter. Home game today for Hawaii. But these Rainbow Warriors will be racking up the frequent flyer miles. As you take a look at some of their road trips, round trip miles, it adds up to over 38,000 for the year, including the longest trip to Navy in early November. In fact, after the Utah State game on November 2nd, Hawaii is just going to stay on the mainland, hang out a few days in Utah, and then go out east to play Navy. But this is all part of the recruiting puzzle that Norm Chow has to put together for the Rainbow Warriors. It's not easy to lure players from the mainland here to Hawaii. You think, oh, it's so beautiful, who wouldn't want to play there? Well, Norm Chow told us in our meetings yesterday that a lot of kids don't want to be that far away from home, and there are a lot of challenges in bringing kids from the mainland here to Hawaii. But one of the things he says that he pitches the kids is you'll get frequent flyer miles, and you can use it to get a free ride home after the season.
Kids want to be near their mama.
Marquise Lee on the kickoff return. and he's taken down at the 22-yard line. Let's go to our CBS Sports Network studio in New York. Adam Zucker has an update.
All right, Andrew, thanks. Yeah, you can lure me to Hawaii anytime. South Carolina coming off consecutive 11-win seasons, up 10 on North Carolina in the third when Mike Davis breaks out a 75-yard run. It was the last scoring of the day. They'd have a lightning delay. Steve Spurrier now 5-0 all-time against North Carolina. Back to our 5-3 ball game. Andrew, Aaron, see you at halftime.
All right, thank you very much, Adam. First down and 10 for USC on the 22-yard line. Marquise Lee in motion. Kessler looking his way. Finally gets rid of it. It's knocked down. And that's Woodard again getting a hand on it for the Rainbow Warriors.
Tell you what, USC's kind of lucky there that he knocked that ball down, because that would have been a 4 or 5 yard loss, but you've got to be able to protect the football. Again, USC being very conservative. Kessler's still in there. They're trying to be able to throw that football to get the football in space to Marquise Lee. Kessler's got to be careful, and you got to get that guy down on the ground if you're Chad Wheeler, the left tackle.
Kessler fakes the handoff, hits his tight end Grimble on the run, and he's knocked down at the 28-yard line.
Andrew, I think one of the stories of this ball game is that Hawaii's playing physical, and I think they're playing more physical than the USC Trojans. Last year they got pushed all the way around, but look at that defense fly to the ball. Look how physical they are, knocking Xavier Grimble down. That's 6'5", 250 that just got laid out. I tell you what, Kalmeyer's got to be pretty happy with the way his defense is playing physically tonight.
Third down and 3 for the Trojans. Kessler knocked down again, and it's Woodard again. Kessler now 5 out of 11 on the day, and USC brings out the punt unit.
Excellent job again by the Rainbow Warriors getting themselves off the field. Again, attacking the outside edges in the flats, but Tavita Woodward again tries to get him cut on the ground, but he stays on his feet. And one of the things and the reasons why I think they're able to, I was shocked at this week at practice when I saw Hawaii doing live cut drills. Without question, that drill is helping them tonight.
Harding back deep for the Warriors. Short kick takes a USC bounce, and it stops at the 36-yard line. Hawaii on top, 5-3.
And welcome back to Aloha Stadium. Hawaii with a 2-point lead over USC in a new football season and something new for our broadcast. The spot, and in this very spot, the 11-yard line in the 06 Hawaii Bowl. Warriors quarterback Colt Brennan broke an NCAA record when he threw for his 55th touchdown pass of the season. He later went on to throw 3 more in that win over ASU, and known as a big team guy, Brennan learned enough Samoan from his teammates that he used it to call plays from the line of scrimmage. Now we want to hear from you at home. You can tweet to us at #TheSpot to share some of your favorite Colt Brennan memories and memories from the 06 Hawaii Bowl. Andrew, you remember that game, don't you?
Colt Brennan, absolutely a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Colt Brennan and Timmy Chang, 2 illustrious quarterbacks at Hawaii. On first down, a short pickup on the play for Lankilde.
J.R. Tavai that time on the play. Hawaii staying committed to running the football, which I like, because they've got to be able to keep this USC defense honest, but you got to have some success on first down to do that.
They go right back to Lankilde, nothing doing. Dawson right there for the Trojans.
I tell you what, Hayes Pullard is timing the snap unbelievably. He's walking up an A-gap that's really hard on the offensive line. I played with a guy that used to play at USC, number 55, Junior Seau, that did the exact same thing. This guy wearing number 10 tonight. Better be careful, though.
Check that, Hawaii 1 for 6 on third downs tonight. They got a third down here. Graham Across the field, incomplete. Good coverage on the play from Torrin Harris. And Hawaii will be forced to punt.
A couple different times tonight we've seen the accuracy issues of Taylor Graham. Sometimes when you're a big, strong quarterback with a big, strong arm, throwing those touch passes accurately can be difficult, and we've seen that a couple different times. The one hop on the series before this and that last one.
Ruben Guzman is back into punt for Hawaii. Scott Harding punted the last two for the Rainbow Warriors, and Marquise Lee back deep at the 25-yard line. Guzman bounces it at the 30, takes a USC bounce, and Hawaii will down it at the 35-yard line. Well, Pete Carroll had a great career at USC, 97 wins, 19 losses. Although in 2005, the win total, the championship, the Heisman vacated by the NCAA, but Lane Kiffin and Norm Chow, both assistants under Pete Carroll. Norm told us that both Chow and Kiffin lived out by Manhattan Beach. They would carpool to work together. As Chow said, to try to fight the traffic, it was nice to have somebody next to him on those car rides to practice. Kessler is still in there. Marquise Lee makes the catch. And Aaron, my question to you, are you surprised that we haven't seen Max Wittek yet?
I am, only because this USC offense is in a dogfight right now, but that's going to be the problem that Lane Kiffin's going to have. Right now, Cody Kessler isn't playing that bad. He's been doing a pretty decent job. There's been a sack and they took the safety, but that's not on his shoulders. He's efficiently distributing the football, but if you pull him now, what does that do to his confidence?
He's 6 out of 12 tonight as they give it to Madden, who has some room. Madden, one man to beat, and he's tackled from behind at the 27-yard line. But a big pickup for the sophomore Trey Madden. Morrell Jackson saved the touchdown, a 34-yard gain.
Tackling was the issue last year for Hawaii in this game. The play before this, D. Magid did a great job of getting Marquise Lee to the ground right away. This is just an outside zone play. Missed tackle right there on the edge, another one right there, a third one, and then finally from the backside pursuit, so you got to give credit for that. One of the Warriors comes over and brings them to the ground, but Hawaii's got to be able to tackle better than that. That was a huge play for the USC Trojans.
Kessler to Lee, trying to give him some open space, and a great tackle by Hawaii defensively. That's Naquan Phillips. Hawaii's done a tremendous job tonight of keeping Marquise Lee in check.
Yeah, no question, great tackle, but Marquise Lee, what you're taught as a wide receiver is take one step and go. He was a little too fancy there last year. That probably would have been a touchdown because of the tackling issues on Hawaii. This time, it's a tackle for loss. Excellent, excellent job again by Hawaii, and Marquise Lee's got to get north and south.
It was a 4-yard loss, 2nd down and 14 with 7:40 to go in the first half. Madden met at the line, still going, and now the pile pushes him back.
Andrew, we talked at the beginning of the game about USC wanting to get its swag back. Well, right now it's Hawaii that's got some swag and a ton of confidence. Even after giving up that big play, if you get a tackle for loss and make a great play, it immediately erases that. You get a fresh set of downs. Now you've got USC behind the chains considerably on the road. This is a huge play for them. They need to come up with this stop.
3rd down and 14. USC 1 out of 5 tonight on 3rd downs. High snap, Kessler trying to get rid of it, intercepted. Kessler frustrated. Morrell Jackson with the INT for the Rainbow Warriors. And how about this Hawaii defense?
Making plays, baby, making plays. Now I think we'll see a quarterback change, my friend.
Hawaii still on top, 6:46 to go, first half.
Hey, Adam Zucker here in New York. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, we'll have scores and highlights from around the country, including a meeting of SEC teams coming off bounce-back seasons. Plus, there was electricity in South Carolina, but it wasn't from Jadeveon Clowney. Now back to Andrew Catalan and Aaron Taylor in Hawaii. 5-3. Will we see Max Whittick before halftime, boys?
Could be there, Adam, as USC needs a 2-run homer to tie it. 5-3 our score with 6:46 to go in the first half. Hawaii will start first and 10 on the 25. It's a handoff coming back to Wiley, and Dawson is right there for the Trojans.
Let's go back and take a look at that last interception. A couple of coaching points on what's going on. Let's take the Barbasol close shave replay. Keep your eye on the nose tackle and number 10 right there, Merrill Jackson. Cody Kessler has some late pressure on a middle screen or bubble screen. You want to be able to let the guys go, but you can't throw the ball high over the middle. Kessler panicked a little bit, put too much air underneath that football, and that's why it was intercepted.
That one's popped up in the air, and it falls incomplete. George Uko getting back there for the Trojans. Taylor Graham, the son of former NFL quarterback Kent Graham, with a rude awakening back here in his first collegiate game. There's an injured Trojan down on the field. That is Anthony Brown, the cornerback.
That's in a position that they can ill afford further injuries about. They came into this game rotating 6 players for sure. That's one of those positions that they're extremely inexperienced, and I think that's going to be a storyline, Andrew, and something to follow for the Trojans this year. Defensive coordinator Clancy Pendergrass wants to be aggressive. That's what he likes to do, which can put your cornerbacks on an island. How aggressive can he be while still protecting his young and inexperienced corners? I don't know if you noticed or not, but there's some pretty good offenses in the Pac-12 now. There you see the two quarterbacks talking a little bit. It's going to be really interesting to see how Lane Kiffin handles this situation. You pull Kessler right now, you risk blowing up his confidence. But he did make a bad play, and you got another good quarterback on your roster.
3rd down and 12. Graham is picked off. Second interception thrown by Graham. And USC will have golden field position. Hayes Pullard with the pick for the Trojans.
Well, Hayes better get in the huddle and give his teammate Devon Kennard some love. He absolutely blew up the left tackle. There was some pressure up front right there, hit just as he's throwing it. Without question, Devon Kennard getting there. Ill-advised pass, but it's very hard for quarterbacks, especially ones that haven't played too much, to be able to make good decisions under duress. This is the very thing that Taylor Graham will grow from, and you got to give credit where credit's due. Pullard made a good play because of the pressure.
Pullard had an interception return for a touchdown last year against Hawaii, and he gets one here in the first half.
I'd like the call to keep Cody Kessler in. He's been playing pretty good up to now. You pull him, I think you risk ruining his confidence a little bit, especially after a big turnover. He's warmed up. What better way to erase the memory of that interception by getting some points on the board here late in the second.
Short field to work with, 2nd and 5. Madden, the workhorse, back here in the first half for the Trojans, and looks like he's going to be just short of a USC first down. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1.
I'm so impressed with the linebacker play from Hawaii, shedding that time the fullback Jaleel Pinner. Great job to get themselves in a position here on 3rd down.
Madden, that's going to be close. That's going to depend on the spot. Tried to get out wide, but John Hardy Tuliao was right there for the Rainbow Warriors.
Great job by USC that time, using some tempo, getting a quick snap, getting off tackle right there. But Madden drops his shoulders, keeps his legs going. It's the second effort in that fall forward right there that makes a difference possibly between a first down or a 4th down.
Trojans going for it again. Kessler up the middle, and looks like he's got it. They went for it on 4th down in the first quarter, did not convert when Marquise Lee dropped the pass along the sideline. This time, they get the first down.
Kiffin's got to be happy about that. USC is in a much closer ball game than they thought possible. But here they are entering the red zone.
They're first of the half.
First time out for Hawaii in this first half. Well, college football on CBS Sports Network continues all weekend long, starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern as Morgan State travels to West Point to battle Army. And then on Saturday at 7, Miami of Ohio takes on Marshall. That's in Huntington, West Virginia. And the weekend action wraps up Sunday at 6 from Sports Authority Field at Mile High between rivals Colorado and Colorado State. Army does not have its leading rusher from a year ago, but Maples and Dixon, second and third a year ago, are back, hoping to lead the Knights to a good season.
Yeah, Raymond Maples really had a nice year last year. As USC enters the red zone here, this is an area that they particularly struggled, and a big reason why they weren't as successful in 2012 as they were in 2011, even though they put up as many yards.
First down and 10 from the 19-yard line. Kessler, time, going end zone to Aguilar. He's got it. Touchdown, USC. A 19-yard touchdown. Kessler to Aguilar, and USC regains the lead.
That was an important drive for USC to be able to score some points off of the turnover to get some confidence back for Cody Kessler and to finally get that passing game going. Beautiful touch pass on the corner route. Great route by Nelson Aguilar, beating Naquan Phillips right there. But you leave them one-on-one, you got to be able to play. No safety help when you run that corner route. And Aguilar just does a great job, which is no surprise because he had a tremendous spring and a really good fall, Andrew. He's going to be a nice number 2 to complement Marquise Lee.
Benefit of playing behind Lee and Woods last year. Two great guys to learn from. Aguilar had 2 touchdowns a year ago, and he's got one here in the opener. USC takes advantage off the turnover. Taylor Graham with the interception, and USC turned it into 6. Collard the pick, Aguilar the touchdown. Trojans back on top. Sophomore Nelson Aguilar from Tampa, Florida, has given the Trojans the lead once again. After the interception, Aguilar takes it in from 19 yards out. All 10 USC points have come off Hawaii turnovers. 4:18 to go in the first half. And Taylor Graham getting ready to go back to work. Graham is just 4 out of 13 tonight with 2 interceptions. Gant is back deep for the Rainbow Warriors.
Sorry, buddy. Both these offenses been pretty conservative. I'd like to see Hawaii try and take some shots downfield as well.
And Gant is knocked down by Harris at the 23-yard line after a 13-yard pickup. Now let's check in with Lauren Gardner.
Yeah, guys, a team that's already suffered a rash of injuries will have to do without 2 cornerbacks for the time being. Kevon Seymour injured his right leg, now has it propped up with some ice on it. Anthony Brown appears to be a bit more serious, needed help on his way over to the training table, is laying down with some ice on that left knee. It doesn't look like he'll be coming back anytime soon.
Thank you, Lauren, and certainly the secondary is one of the positions where USC is very thin. As Graham again chased from behind by Kennard, and Graham is now 4 out of 14.
Devin Kennard is the son of his father, Derek Kennard, the former offensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys, who played during the era that I played offensive line. He just played it a heck of a lot more physically than me, but it's good to see that he got his mom's speed on that one, because he's been harassing the quarterback all night.
Might have his mom's smarts too, a 3.23 GPA, and he's currently working on his master's degree at USC. Graham trying to get something going. This is King Jr., and not much there.
No, that was Deion Bailey out there on the edge, a converted weak side linebacker last year. They moved to safety. He was kind of an undersized linebacker, so they figured that he'd be able to help him out in that backfield, and be interesting to see some of the adjustments that you're making. You see number 4 here down at the bottom of your screen. That's Torrin Harris. He's a very good tackler, but can be suspect in coverage at times. Very, very young in their backfield.
Hawaii 1 for 8 on 3rd down. Graham is hit hard again. The pass is caught by Haynes. A 9-yard pickup on the play. Graham took another big hit, but that's good for a 1st down.
That was Josh Shaw, the free safety again. This is what you can expect to see all year long from this USC defense. They did a great job of getting after the quarterback last year, had 45 sacks. They've been all over Taylor Graham. But there again, I talked about Torrin Harris, number 4, but a nice pitch and catch for the 1st down for the Hawaii.
Graham back to the air. Short pass is dropped, incomplete. Haynes, the intended receiver.
I'm surprised we haven't seen Norm Chow dial up some downfield throws. With USC coming off the edge as much as they are, that leaves the middle of their field vulnerable at times, and all you need is one big play to break this thing wide open. I know Taylor Graham's young, but at some point he's going to have to be able to throw. He can throw that deep ball, which is among the best throws he makes.
Lankilde on the carry for Hawaii with 3:25 to go in the 1st half. A 3-yard pickup for the senior. Lankilde is cousins with Hawaii linebacker Art Laurel. 3rd down and 7 coming for the Rainbow Warriors. Again, no huddle for Taylor Graham and the Hawaii offense.
Those young cornerbacks now, USC having a little bit more too high safety looks.
Graham's pass is intercepted. Shaw has it off to the races. Shaw at the 5, and he's in. Touchdown, USC. 35-yard return, the 3rd interception tonight for Taylor Graham.
To win on the road, Andrew, you got to pack your running game or your defense, preferably both. USC in these last couple of drives have come up with huge plays to be able to get themselves back in this ball game and give themselves a comfortable lead.
All of USC's points have come directly off Hawaii turnovers. And here's Sidari for the point after with 2:49 to go, 2nd quarter. Extra point is good. Josh Shaw had 2 interceptions last year. Comes up with a big one here today as Kemp could not bring it in, off his fingertips and right to Josh Shaw.
Yeah, you see him coming from the right side of your screen on the crossing route. They tried to run a little pick concept, but as a true freshman, man, going over the middle, you got to bring that one down. That is 100% on him, and oftentimes with young receivers, even as talented as they are and as much potential as they have, concentration and catching the ball first is among the priorities, and he is solely, in my opinion, responsible for that pick 6 right there. But that's how you learn. Remember, we talked about this game being a measuring stick. Marcus Kemp's best football is in front of him, but you cannot afford to make mistakes like that when you're playing the number 24 team in the country.
USC defense last year was a big problem. They gave up 394 yards a game. That was the 2nd highest in school history. And they gave up 24 points per game, which was the 4th highest. But one thing they did do well was pick off the ball. They had 19 interceptions a year ago, their most since 2008. And Shaw comes up with a big one here late in the 1st half. Shaw also had an interception a year ago against Hawaii.
Yeah, they're going to need that, buddy. Shaw's been one of the players. He's a leader for that team. He's a converted quarterback. He's the guy that gets out there and communicates. He directs traffic. He's a vocal leader, and leadership is something I think this USC team can stand to have a little bit more of. I think on the defensive side of the ball, they're fine, but offensively, they need some more guys to step up.
Gant from the 3-yard line. And he runs out at the 25. It's been a tough Hawaii debut for Taylor Graham. This is his first start since senior year of high school and 3 first-half interceptions.
Here you see him outside the pocket, rolling to his left as a right-handed quarterback. It's hard to get mustard on that. That one was underthrown. That was a bad decision. And this one's on his receiver, Marcus Kemp, just bobbling the football. Great heads-up play on the tip drill for Josh Shaw to bring it back for the touchdown.
Norm Chow said his goal for Taylor Graham was to have a 62% completion percentage. And he said he hasn't been doing that over the summer. In their scrimmages, it was barely 50%. And tonight, Graham 6 out of 18.
Come on, Andrew, real quick. What percentage is that,
buddy? 33? Around there, I hope.
That's pretty good, 33-3. You got to be able to complete more than 1/3 of your passes. And with that conservative play call here on first down, my guess is Norm Chow, if they don't convert this third down, is going to want to eat up some of this clock. But again, stretching the field vertically. Taylor Graham at practice when I saw him, and according to coach, throws a beautiful deep ball with that strong arm. They got to let him uncork it.
Lankilde straight up the middle, and again that bruising USC front seven, no doubt the strength of the Trojans defensively this year.
A lot of high expectations for this team. A big reason, looking at that young man right there, Leonard Williams, so much talent, so raw, but so good. Lamar Dawson, what he brings to the table. Josh Shaw just had that huge pick 6. They've got playmakers on all 3 levels. Unfortunately, they just don't have a whole lot of depth.
3rd down and 6. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Hawaii 2 for 10 on 3rd downs tonight. Graham stays in there. Now he's knocked to the ground. Yuko in there for the Trojans. 5 sacks last year. And the big guy gets to Graham here on 3rd down.
One of the things that I've been really impressed watching film on George Yuko is his get off and his first step. He stays after it. He doesn't give up on plays, and you see it right there. He got stoned at the line of scrimmage, but he fights through it, stays alive, and as a defensive lineman, that's what it is you want to do. Better cover that belly up, though, a little bit. It's looking a little loose.
Easy for you to say now that you're up here in the booth.
Hey, I got mine covered up. Mine's loose, too.
4th sack tonight for the USC defense, and they've called timeout to stop the clock with 1:27 to go in the first half. Yuko played defensive tackle last year. He'll be more of a defensive end this year in Clancy Pendergast's 5-2 scheme. Scott Harding will punt for Hawaii, and Marquise Lee is waiting at his own 45-yard line. Bad snap, and he just gets it away. Lee backpedals, now takes it at the 32.
Got to keep contained.
Still going backwards. Big block, Lee still going. Ball is out. And it looks like USC has it. Hawaii had it on his fingertips. No, now they're saying it's Hawaii ball. Marquise Lee coughs it up. He had a drop on 4th down in the first quarter, and now a fumble in the second quarter.
Marquise Lee being uncharacteristically careless with the football, had a drop. Now he gets stripped, but again, the reason he got stripped is because of the hustle and the attitude of this Hawaii defensive team. Great peel back block right there. But again, 47, excellent job of coming around and ripping that ball out. Kamalani Alo, excellent effort. Marquise Lee Last year's Fred Biletnikoff winner, awarded to the nation's best receiver, wishes he could take that one back.
Now let's see if Hawaii can capitalize late in the first half. Land Kildy on the ground. There's not much doing on the ground for Hawaii.
Interesting call there. Again, Norm Chow being extremely conservative, but I think Norm Chow knows a thing or two about quarterback play, and I think he wants to get out of here in the halftime with being behind 12 points, but he certainly would like to be able to put this one in and capitalize on that great play on the turnover.
They only have 26 yards rushing, 56 yards passing here in the first half, and again, Graham in trouble, trying to get out of trouble, and he's not going to do it. Brought down for the 5th time tonight. And he lost his helmet on the play. A 7-yard loss.
A lot of pressure there off of
Hawaii. They're second and a half.
A lot of pressure there off that left side. Had a guy running wide open down the field. Scott Harding. But you see there, right there. Great job, great move by 94. Leonard Williams. They're staying alive. See his helmet come off right there, and you wonder if Williams threw a little right cross right there at the end.
Well, Uko got him again. That's his 2nd sack. Hawaii uses a timeout on 3rd down and 17.
Well, Andrew, in football, you talk about living by the blitz and dying by the blitz, and there's nothing more that can help your team than a pass rush. If you've got defensive linemen that can put pressure on the passer without having to blitz, USC tonight has been able to do both, and you got to credit Leonard Williams and George Uko, Deion Bailey, Josh Shaw, some of those guys putting pressure on this Hawaii offense for potentially getting out of this half without giving up any points after the big turnover. It's a 57-yard field goal at this point.
Pendergast, the new defensive coordinator, spent the last 3 seasons at Cal. Former Arizona Cardinals defensive coordinator. Following the timeout, 3rd down and 17 for the Rainbow Warriors. Graham looking deep, has Harding, and he can't bring it in. Diving attempt from Scott Harding, but it'll bring up 4th down and long for Hawaii.
Last year, Harding had 20 catches. Remember, he's an Aussie Rules football player. American football's not his first sport. The 27-year-old has had a couple opportunities here. One of the only times Hawaii's gone vertically tonight. They get one-on-one coverage. The safety's over there late. It's a tad bit overthrown, but this is an execution issue. Great effort by Harding. I put that a little bit more on Taylor Graham, but that was a heck of a missed opportunity for this Hawaii offense.
They're going to go for it on 4th down and 17, and a whistle.
Timeout, Southern Cal.
USC calls its final timeout of the half.
Now, I don't know if Coach Chow is going to try and score some points here and go vertically, why those first 2 plays were so conservative. If you want to score, you got to be able to move the ball down the field a little bit. It seemed like he was trying to run the clock out. Then he takes a deep shot, almost gets it, and wants to go for it on 4th and 17. You got to wonder what's going on, but certainly a 57-yard field goal is not going to get it done either, and you don't want to turn the football over to USC when they got the weapons that they have offensively either. That's why that 3rd down play was so important, Andrew.
Well, you look at it, too, Taylor Graham has had very little time to throw.
Yeah.
So is he trying to protect him, getting him into the locker room? He's going to take a shot. You're right. It seems like he's kind of wavering back and forth as to how to handle this with Taylor Graham, who – again, hasn't played since high school, transfer from Ohio State. That means, Aaron, he hasn't been hit since high school. He's only been going through practice wearing that red jersey. This is the first time he's taken some licks, and you got to think Norm Chow's feeling, how many more times can I let him take a lick?
Yeah, no question. Well, he's a big dude. He certainly is built for it. You look at what Sean Schroeder did last year. I think he was on the ground 50-plus times. They gave up 5 sacks. Taylor Graham, though, I got to give him credit. He's hanging in there. Hawaii desperately needs this one. They're in a cover 2, 2 high safeties right now. Look for slants, posts, and corners. 4 verts.
Graham got punished again. Pass is incomplete, and Graham, wow, took a big hit.
George Uko there. Devin Kennard there. Again, that front 4 of that USC defense is showing again that they can rush the passer. That's going to help them out all year if they can put that much pressure with their front four.
That was Jabari Ruffin, the freshman, applying the pressure to Graham. And now USC, no timeouts, 22 seconds left. What do you do here, Aaron, if you're Lane Kiffin?
Man, if I got number 9 on my team, I'll take a shot, I think. I think you put him on the outside and you say either hit him if he's open or you throw it out of bounds. You don't put yourself in a situation where you turn the football over, but you got some incredible weapons and explosive players. Let them touch it.
It's been Kessler this entire half for the Trojans. Over the middle, there's number 9, Marquise Lee, has a first down, and he'll run out of bounds wisely at the 46-yard line. A pickup of 14 on the play for Lee.
I like the play call. They're running a dig from that left side, which is a deep in route. Gets himself in front of the safety behind the linebackers, and again, an open field. There may not be any better in the country than Marquise Lee, and he does a great heads-up job of getting outside, getting out of bounds, and stopping the clock.
Just the 3rd catch of the half for Lee, and he also fumbled that punt return. 13 seconds left. Again, USC with no timeouts remaining. Kessler right back to Lee at the 40, and he gets out of bounds.
That's where Lee is so dangerous. He can catch a 2-yard pass and turn it into a touchdown. He did that on the first play of the game last year.
Hadari's career long is 50. His long last year was 41. Right now, USC has the ball at the 38-yard line. About a 55-yard field goal, so you figure they need at least 5 more yards to try to give Hadari a chance. Marquise Lee on the bottom of your screen. Kessler gets rid of it quickly to the tight end. That's Grimble making the catch with 2 seconds to go. And Hadari is going to come out and try to tack on 3 more before halftime.
This will be a 42-yard field goal here from the 35. 52, excuse me.
52-yard field goal. Again, his career long is 50.
Man, I was asking you to do math, and I just mush-mouthed it. Notre Dame, baby, Notre Dame.
And a timeout by Hawaii.
Timeout. Hawaii, their 3rd and final of the half. 30 seconds in length.
Hadari had a good year 2 years ago. He was 15 out of 17, including that career-long 50-yarder. Last year struggled with his accuracy a little bit. It was only 10 out of 16 on his field goals, and his long was 41. 2 seconds to go in the first half.
Be a career long for Hadari. And I think a big play with USC to allow them to go in with a little bit of confidence. It's been a very rough half for both of these teams, but USC's in a much bigger dogfight than they expected.
Kick is away, and the kick is good from 50. Andre Hadari matches his career high. And at the break, USC has a 15-point lead, 20-5 over Hawaii.
Football fans, welcome to halftime. We are at Velocity. We're going to get
Take another look at this kick at just enough on it. And let's go down to the field. Lauren Gardner with Lane Kiffin.
Well, Coach, we all thought we'd be seeing 2 quarterbacks out there. How do you assess Cody Kessler's playing? Can we expect to see Max Whittick out there in the second half?
Well, we definitely got off to a slow, sloppy start there, and we didn't do very well around them. And luckily, our defense is playing extremely well, and now our special teams also. So we'll get back on track, have a much better second half.
Thanks, Coach.
Big ball to the line.
Last year at the half, USC was up 35-0. This year, it's a 15-point USC lead. Our halftime reports coming up on CBS Sports Network. Welcome back to Aloha Stadium. Moments away from the start of the third quarter, and at the half, USC has a 20-5 lead. Alongside Aaron Taylor, I'm Andrew Catalan. Hawaii hung tough there for a while. USC pulled away a little bit late in that second quarter. Turnovers, the big storyline.
Yeah, there's no question. I've been really impressed with the defenses from both of these teams, but particularly with Hawaii. They are out physicaling USC.
Let's take a look back at your Aaron's 4 to look for that we showed you early on in the first quarter.
Yeah, no question. We asked the question of, can Hawaii limit USC's big plays? Absolutely. Only 4.5 yards per plays for the Trojan. They did a great job stuffing the run and getting after the quarterback and getting a sack early on. They're going to need a big effort out of that unit in the second half. And then for USC, can they rattle Hawaii's inexperienced quarterback? Yeah, you could say that. 5 sacks, tons of pressure off the edge. Hawaii's only been able to generate 75 yards. So let's take a look at tonight's Bass Pro first half stats. I think at the bottom, that story tells it all. There's been turnovers on both sides, but it's only been the Trojans, Andrew, that have been able to capitalize, and that's been the difference so far.
All right, let's take a look at tonight's QB pass chart. And we'll get to that in a second, but we'll start with the Pep Boys. Second half action about to get underway, and a beautiful night in Hawaii. So Hawaii will kick off. And by the way, they changed that field goal late in the first half to a 52-yarder for Hidari. That's the longest field goal at USC since 1990 and equals the 4th longest of all time as that kickoff goes out of bounds. So USC will have good field position to start the third quarter, but a 52-yarder from Hidari to close out the first half. Let's go down to the field, check in with Lauren Gardner.
Yeah, Andrew, I spoke with a realistic Norm Chow when it comes to Taylor Graham. He said, of course, he's not going to come out there right away and play like Matt Leinart, but he did say that he did make some nice throws. He was pleased with part of his play. He really needs to focus on avoiding that pass rush and move his feet better and work on releasing the ball earlier.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Graham will start the second half watching from the bench. Cody Kessler back out there for the Trojans. Still no Max Wick tonight. Kessler in the first half, 10 out of 17, 95 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. He will throw on first down here. And he's not going to be able to. Kessler is brought down. Sawi Matangiese on the tackle for Hawaii. And now we take a look at our Pep Boys QB pass chart. And you can see, Aaron, a lot of stuff underneath. For Cody Kessler.
When you're on the road with a first-time starter, you want to throw those high-percentage passes. But SC has yet to be able to stretch the field. They had that 135-yard touchdown on the corner route to Nelson Aguilar. I think in this second half, they need to take some more shots down the field because underneath, Hawaii's been playing tough.
Kessler, plenty of time. Pass is high, intended for Telfer and incomplete.
Great protection that time by USC's offensive line. Good downfield coverage as well. Both safeties walked up and bailed at the last moment. Kessler had to come off his first read trying to hit Nelson Aguilar and came underneath and just had too much mustard on him.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 situation for Lane Kiffin and the Trojans. 1 out of 7 in the first half.
That ain't going to win you a whole lot of ball games, Andrew. USC needs to get in some sort of rhythm here offensively to start the second half, which means they have to convert a long 3rd and 10.
Kessler looking for Rogers, and it's incomplete.
Kessler a little slow to get up there. Both of these defenses being very aggressive, getting after the quarterback, and it's been the second efforts. There haven't been real quick sacks. It's been when the quarterbacks had to pull the football down because of good coverage that the second efforts by the defensive line have been able to get after the quarterbacks, and that time the Rainbow Warriors showed you how to do it.
Alvarado had 2 punts in the first half for a 34.5 average. Gets this one away. Harding stays away from it. Lets it bounce, and a big USC bounce. Look at this. Still going. Inside the 5. Down at the 1. A 64-yard punt for Alvarado.
Well, the punt's the only offensive play in football that's guaranteed to average 35 yards each time you do it. That time it was almost double it. Hawaii's got to be very careful, especially with as aggressive as USC's defense has been. They better get rid of that football right now.
Taylor Graham back out there for Hawaii rough first half. 6 out of 20, 56 yards, and 3 interceptions. But Alvarado all smiles right now on the USC sideline. Some love for the punter. First and 10 from the 1. Graham's going to throw. Nobody home.
Again, we're seeing miscommunication on option routes. Taylor Graham thinking he was going to go long.
Well, here's a look at Taylor Graham's QB pass chart brought to you by Pep Boys. And just like Kessler, he hasn't taken many deep shots either, Aaron.
No, but the difference here is I think that there's been some big missed opportunities. Scott Harding had a couple drops. There's been some shots that they just haven't been able to connect on. But again, I think you got to be able to keep that defense honest and make them pay for when they blitz.
Lankilde from his own end zone just gets it out. 1-yard pickup on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and long, and that was a big problem in the first half for the Rainbow Warriors. Just 2 out of 12 on 3rd downs.
Norm Chow's got to be pretty frustrated. USC playing aggressive on this series with their cornerbacks playing close to the line. What they're trying to do there is take away the quick smoke routes where the quarterback just turns and fires and gets the ball into the receiver's hands with space. This time, too high safety look. That front 4 trying to get after it.
Graham in his end zone gets it out, and it's caught by Haynes. Still on his feet to the 7-yard line, but that'll be short of a Hawaii first down.
Andrew, I would consider that an awfully successful offensive series because they are successfully punting the football away. I thought that maybe Taylor Graham should have thrown that one away. Remember, they've had some problems throwing those short passes too hard, bobbling it. Earlier in the game, Marcus Kemp gave up a pick-6 because of that. I think they're going to be very happy if they get this one off. But remember, the punt before this gave USC really good field position. There's a very good chance their offense is going to start on the positive side of the 50.
Marquise Lee is waiting at the 40-yard line, but Guzman with a good punt drives Lee back beyond midfield. Lee fumbled a punt in the first half, gets out of bounds here at the 45-yard line. After a 46-yard punt from Guzman, a 5-yard return for Lee.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Verizon. Never be without football. Call ** NFL to download NFL Mobile from Verizon. By Napa. Napa Know-How. And by Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective.
USC on top of Hawaii 20-5 in the season opener of the 2013 college football season. And a change at quarterback for the Trojans. Max Wittek comes out to lead the Trojans on this drive. He started the final 2 games of last season against Notre Dame and then Georgia Tech in the Sun Bowl. 3 touchdowns, 5 picks on the season. So Kessler got his chance, and now we'll see what Max Wittek can do. Start with a run to Justin Davis. And he jumps forward to the 38-yard line. 6-yard pickup on the play. Garcia Williams there. What do you think of the move here by Lane Kiffin, Aaron?
Well, I think it makes sense. I think they need to be able to continue to evaluate both of these quarterbacks. That was a nice kind of benign, safe time to make the change, if you will. Cody Kessler can probably feel pretty good about his body of work tonight. Certainly some things he would want back. We talked about USC taking shots downfield. Whittick's got that big arm. Let's see if they use it.
Davis again, and he is met at the line of scrimmage.
What's been interesting tonight, a lot of helmets popping off from both of these teams. I don't know if it's because it's that physical or the guys just haven't tightened them up from practice. There's no question in practice you loosen your helmet up a little bit more than you do for a game. We've seen a lot of players on both sides of the team losing their helmets.
Randall Telfer comes out, the tight end for USC. 3rd down and 5 from the 39-yard line.
Of course, Telfer having to come out by rule. When your helmet comes off, you have to sit out a play. Unless, of course, there's a penalty involved.
You can call a timeout, too. And pressure in the back. Whittick is brought down. A sack for the Hawaii defense. Garcia Williams getting back there for the Rainbow Warriors.
Number 40, Gerald Garcia Williams, has been all over the field. You see defensive coordinator Tom Kallmeyer got to feel pretty good. You see the edges is where they're coming from. Both of these teams employing the same sort of effort. And both of those guys doing a great job. Tavita Woodard, Gerald Garcia Williams, great job with the pressure forcing the punt. I've been so impressed with this Rainbow Warrior defense tonight. They are balling out.
A 3-and-out for Whittick, his first time. Tough punt fielded there by Harding. And Hawaii once again will start deep in their own end after a 37-yard punt. Trojans still on top. 10:37 to go, 3rd quarter. Trojans on top of the Rainbow Warriors, 20-5. Big weekend of tennis coming up on CBS Sports Network. Don't miss today at the U.S. Open, presented by USPS. Labor Day weekend each day at 10 a.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network, followed by 7 hours of live match coverage on both CBS and CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Serena Williams, the number 1 seed on the women's side. Another victory today, advancing to the 3rd round of the U.S. Open. Serena has another golden opportunity to try to win her 5th U.S. Open title.
Her sister got waxed kind of quickly, didn't she?
Been a tough go for Venus, but Serena and Venus playing doubles together, so Venus is still hanging around. And that's Diasimi St. Just on the carry for the Rainbow Warriors. Another freshman getting a chance here for the Hawaii offense. Again, no Joey Iosefa, their starting running back, out with a foot injury. 1,000 yards in his career, but no Iosefa, and it's a lot of true freshmen for Norm Chow tonight.
Iosefa's got a different gear. Old number 22 from Florida, even though he's a true freshman, had a hamstring earlier in the year, but when he downshifts, he can fly.
Graham looking for Kirkwood, and the freshman makes the catch. Keith Kirkwood, freshman from Neptune, New Jersey. 24-yard pickup and a Hawaii first down.
That was beautiful touch on that pass that time by Taylor Graham. Heading down that right sideline, looking to his read, comes off his read, something that he's been struggling with, but throws it over the young cornerback who remembers filling in for Anthony Brown, who left the game. Lays it in front of the safety and moves the chains. That's what Hawaii needs to do, is let Taylor Graham uncork his big arm.
St. Just on that carry, Cravens the tackle. Kirkwood went up and got that one, Aaron. He was a basketball player in high school and wasn't really recruited that much for football. Norm Chow got in on him late, convinced Kirkwood to come to Hawaii, and he leaps for that catch and a Hawaii first down. Now it's 2nd and 10 with 9:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. Over the middle, incomplete. Dangerous pass over the middle by Graham.
Again, that's a situation that requires a little bit of touch. Graham's got that strong arm, threw it a little bit behind St. Just. You have to be able to give your receivers a chance to catch it. But Scott Harding struggling a little bit tonight to pull in the football.
Hawaii 2 out of 13 on third downs tonight. 3rd and 10 here. And the pass is nearly intercepted by Bailey, and give a whole lot of credit to Jabari Ruffin. He went in untouched on Taylor Graham. The freshman Ruffin getting a lot of action tonight. Morgan Breslin out with a high ankle, and Ruffin making the most of it that time.
They love Ruffin's athleticism. You see him here coming off the bottom of your screen. Just does a good job of letting Taylor Graham feel his presence. But again, miscommunication, just a poorly thrown ball, or maybe it's the young receivers running wrong routes. But the bottom line, the passing game for Hawaii is not in sync.
Guzman kicks to Marquise Lee. And this one will be downed at the 31-yard line. That's where USC will take over on offense. Taylor Graham taking a beating tonight for Hawaii.
I don't know. That's a good question. Not many people have been able to do it, but obviously you play zone coverage, you don't play man, and cloud him and play a lot of safety roll coverage to him. To see the way that he plays is really amazing. He's very competitive.
Yeah, you got to love what you see from this kid, Marquise Lee, and what he's brought to this team. So explosive, what he's able to do. 16 plays last year, over 40 yards. The average distance of his 14 touchdowns he had last year was 41+ yards. And he recently took out a insurance policy, news breaking today and being reported, to ensure his future. And that's a very common practice. And I think that players should have the right to be able to ensure their future earnings. And it sounds like Marquise Lee has certainly done that.
Whittick in trouble, and he's brought down again by the Hawaii defense. Brendan Daly in the backfield to take down Whittick. Back to Lee really quick. Published reports say a $10 million insurance policy. Obviously an incredibly talented player who's likely a first-round pick. Just being careful, and that's what the published report said tonight about Marquise Lee. Another look at the sack.
Great job of staying alive and reading what the pass protection was and finding the holes. Again, it's the effort of this Hawaii defense taking advantage of that slide protection there to come up with the big sack.
Trey Madden on the carry for the Trojans, and Samia brings him down after an 8-yard gain.
And for the record, Andrew, I had a $1 million policy my senior year when I was at Notre Dame, so I think with the salaries these guys are making nowadays, we'll just call it inflation, but $10 million seems to be the going rate for these guys wanting to protect themselves. And you got to realize, kids go to college to be able to earn money and earn a living. Marquise's best chance to be able to do that is by playing football. Hopefully he gets his degree at some point, but I think it's a stand-up move. If you can afford that insurance, get it absolutely.
3rd down and 5. They give it back to Madden. And he is stopped short of a first down. D. Magid makes the tackle for the Rainbow Warriors, and that'll bring up 4th down and 3. And once again, Whittick goes 3 and out.
Great job by that right side of that defense, including number 40, Gerald Garcia-Williams, and what they were able to do and not give up the outside. When you can hold the point at the line of scrimmage and give your backside players time to pursue the football, good things happen, and that's what happened here.
Alvarado had that booming punt last time out. Harding back deep at his 20, backpedaling to the 15, makes the catch, spins, and going nowhere. Tackled at the 16-yard line. We are at Aloha Stadium in Honolulu, Hawaii for opening night of the 2013 college football season. Alongside former Notre Dame All-American Aaron Taylor and Lauren Gardner, I'm Andrew Catalon. Make sure to join the conversation on Twitter tonight, #USC and #Hawaii Football.
And Andrew, I think the story of the game has absolutely been those turnovers that you just mentioned, and that's been secondary to all the pressure. Certainly having true freshman receivers bobbling the ball over the middle is not going to be able to help you any. But Hawaii and this offense to have under 100 yards at halftime and to be struggling the way they are was unexpected. Wide, oh.
Wow, I know what you're about to say. Chris Gant was wide open down the field.
There's been several missed opportunities. This could be something that got Hawaii right back in this game, some miscommunication. Taylor Graham missed a wide open Chris Gant at the bottom of the screen on that one.
Instead, it was a 3-yard pickup, 2nd down and 7. Graham back to the air as King Jr. leaps forward, and that will be a Hawaii 1st down. 8-yard gain on the play for Donnie King Jr.
Donnie King Jr. doing a great job there, running a snag route and concept. You see him off to the left side of the screen, comes in and then bows out to the outside, running away from number 18, Dion Bailey. Looks like UH is getting to a little bit of a rhythm here.
She knows. She knows.
On 1st and 10, they give it to Laka Laka, the redshirt freshman, and he is stopped for a loss.
We talked about Leonard Williams and what he's able to do. True sophomore, was a freshman All-American last year with just a tremendous job. He gets great push at the beginning of this play. You see what he's able to do lined up here in this spot, just being able to push the guard into the backfield. That's what you want. You control the line of scrimmage, actually pushes the right guard into the running back. That's what USC needs to do, is to control that line of scrimmage as they're a wounded Rainbow Warrior on the field.
Still waiting on confirmation as to who that is down on the field for Hawaii. And there it is, the left tackle, Sean Shigematsu. His father played football at UNLV, and Shigematsu remains on the ground here at Aloha Stadium.
Shigematsu is a big part of this offensive line. This is how so many players get hurt. You see right there, getting that right knee rolled up on. Do see knee braces on that knee, so hopefully he's okay.
Well, neither team is very deep, and certainly Hawaii is not deep at all on the offensive line.
Yeah, and this is a Hawaii team, Andrew, that was really, really banged up and been fighting through injuries and had some here early in camp, but last year, I mean, it was just the perfect storm.
8 season-ending injuries last year. Hawaii led the nation with the most first-time FBS starters, 32, including 6 true freshmen. That led the nation. A lot of guys got opportunities, but it wasn't what Norm Chow wanted to see, and certainly doesn't want to see this either. Shigematsu helped off the field.
I think 2 or 3 years down the line, the reps that some of those young players back are going to be part of the success equation for Hawaii's rebuilding efforts. You hate to have players go down. It certainly affects your depth and your performance on the field, but it also builds that depth for the future.
2nd down and 10 with 5:19 to go, 3rd quarter. Graham trying to stretch the field, has his man. That's a catch. Donnie King Jr. slides in with a 21-yard pickup and a 1st down for Hawaii.
That's the 2nd time that they've run that play. Hawaii starting to take advantage of those young quarterbacks. Remember, Devion Shelton, number 17, was filling in for the injured Kevon Seymour, and Taylor Graham doing a good job of just throwing that go route on the outside edge over the corner and in front of the safety.
Tough snap. Graham had trouble with it. Now trying to regroup, and he's not going to. Dawson and Kennard combine to bring down Taylor Graham. What a game for Devon Kennard tonight. He's been all over the field.
Yeah, no question. He's a versatile edge player, and this is something that Clancy Pendergrass wants to be able to do that little bobble there, forces him to take his eyes off downfield, and USC is just pinning their ears back and get to Taylor Graham for the 6th time tonight for the sack.
Graham just throws this one to the turf, and a penalty flag comes in.
I think that's going to be on Devon Kennard, impeding the progress of a receiver. He basically read the screen right away and was tackling him and trying to bring him to the ground. You see Lane Kiffin there arguing his point.
Holding, number 42, defense. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Kiffin loses the argument. Kennard the guilty party. But Clancy Pendergrass could not speak more praise for Devon Kennard. He called him the Energizer Bunny in practice, says he inspires people, and he is truly one of the leaders of the USC defense. In fact, he was named one of the captains this week, the senior out of Phoenix, Arizona. And ironically, Pendergrass coached Bertrand Berry in Arizona, and Kennard has been working with Berry. Pendergrass put the two of them together. Kennard is from Phoenix, so he's learning from quite a role model in Berry.
B-Train Berry, a former teammate of mine at Notre Dame. He was just a young pup, but he was somebody that had a knack for being able to get himself to the football. Became an incredible pass rusher there in his late years at Notre Dame, and certainly when he got to Arizona under Clancy Pendergrass. But that is a very good defensive-minded coach. He will take some chances, but there's one thing you can guarantee yourself on USC's defense this year: they are going to cause havoc and affect the quarterback.
3rd down and 3 for Hawaii. Inside handoff to Lakalaka, penalty flag on the play.
And in that area of the field, on that type of play, that's likely going to be an offensive hold.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Number 90 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's on George Uko.
Finally, the old lineman getting some love. You wonder if sometimes this USC defense has been all the way on the outside here. There he is right up there. Keep your eye on him. George Uko sees the tackle pull around right there. He's got his left hand up in the face of number 71, Ben Clark, their center, who was on a back block. The official's right on top of it.
So 1st down and 10 for Hawaii. Fake the handoff. Graham looking, intercepted. Dion Bailey right there, and that's the 4th pick of the night for Taylor Graham. The junior Dion Bailey moving from linebacker to safety this year, and a critical pick for Taylor Graham. Bailey stops the Hawaii momentum.
Welcome back to Hawaii. The Trojans up 20-5. Let's go back and take a look at that interception. Here's Chris Gant going to run a post route. One of the worst things a quarterback can do is turn his back to the defense. It's a great pay fake, but you see Taylor Graham right here doesn't see that Dion Bailey's right there. All he's expecting is Chris Gant to be there wide open. Because he turns his back to the defense, Dion Bailey's able to sink, and Taylor Graham never sees him, throws a perfect interception, and Taylor Graham was surprised on that because he thought Gant was wide open for the touchdown.
Rough night continues for Taylor Graham. 11 out of 29, 4 interceptions. Max Wittick back out there for the Trojans under center on 1st and 10. 3:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. And movement on the line.
False start, number 77, offense, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Aaron, what more can you say about this Hawaii defense tonight? They have played lights out.
Bro, I've been so impressed, man. I watched these guys practice, and I shouldn't say that I'm that impressed because they practice hard. There was a swag and a tempo to them. They were running live cut drills so that their linebackers could get realistic looks, and they came into this game believing they had a chance to win, and they're down here by 15 against the number 24 team in the country.
Some running room here for Davis, and Justin Davis with a big run, picking up 17 on the play. Matangiese brought him down.
Justin Davis, number 22, the true freshman out of Stockton, California. He's got some speed. USC has no shortage there. The corner comes up and forces him to come back inside, but the difference there on that last play is the backside pursuit from the second-level defenders, and in particular the linebackers, was not there.
Lane Kiffin said that of all the offensive players during summer camp, Davis made the most of his opportunities. With Silas Redd being banged up, it was Davis who stepped up, and he's getting some time now and getting another carry and more room for Davis. Another first down. Tackled from behind, but back-to-back first down rushing plays from Justin Davis. 14 yards on that one.
USC is finding some success out on the outside edge. It's part of what they've been able to do so far tonight. Right there, they've got the defense surrounded. Great job out on the outside edge. And finally, it's the backside pursuit, but it doesn't show up till 10 yards down the field. But credit that right side of that offensive line and those wide receivers out there for creating some lanes out on the edge.
Davis gets a breather here. Trey Madden back in behind Whittick on 1st and 10. Quick pass to Marquise Lee, makes the catch.
That's where you got to be careful.
Has some room, and another USC first down. Bowens forced him out. 18-yard pickup for Marquise Lee.
That's the exact play that they scored on the first play of the game last year. Put your foot in the ground, make one move. He didn't do that earlier in the game, and he got tackled. He does it to get north and south here, and he moves the chains.
That was Whittick's first attempt. And now Lee with 4 catches for 43 yards.
I think Hawaii would be advised to maybe roll a safety over the top of old number 9 there.
Davis back in there, and USC just moving the ball right down the field. 8 yards for Davis. Let's go down in the field. Injury report from Lauren Gardner.
Well, Andrew, unfortunately for Hawaii, Sean Shigematsu is out for the remainder of the game. Trainers were quick to remove existing tape from his right ankle and brought out crutches right away. Trainer Eric Okasaki told me he will not be returning as he re-injured an existing injury on his right ankle.
Okay, thank you, Lauren. Davis now with 42 yards rushing on the day. Trey Madden has 80 yards rushing. USC has had some success on the ground. Davis again, trying to get outside. Davis, another USC first down.
All right, that right side of the offensive line, they had a lot of questions marks coming into this game, but keep your eye on the right tackle, Kevin Graff, doing a great job of helping to seal that edge out there. Good job of that entire front of that offensive line being able to get some push and help them move the chains.
Impressive effort from these USC running backs. Again, Silas Redd out. DJ Morgan, another one of their top backs, is also out with an injury. Davis and Madden making the most of their chances tonight. Now Whittick wants to throw. Marquise Lee, incomplete. Lee slipped just a little bit as he turned for that ball and couldn't bring it in.
Now you got to remember, Marquise Lee's been banged up a little bit in fall camp, and you have to wonder if the missed time is affecting him here in his first real action in 2013.
It was a shoulder injury that bothered Lee for most of the summer. He owns or shares 22 USC records. 39 seconds to go, third quarter. And we have a whistle and a timeout.
Timeout, USC. Their first of the half, 30 seconds in length.
Let's talk some more offensive line. Keep your eye right here on the left tackle, Chad Wheeler. Wheeler's just a redshirt freshman, but does a good job of being able to come over and be able to make those blocks on that backside, and that prevents the pursuit from being able to come over and be able to get something done. And big reason why those tackle plays, both Kevin Graff and Chad Wheeler doing a good job on that outside edge. And I'll say this, Andrew, Hawaii's lost a little bit of their oomph defensively. They're not flying around to this football. I don't know if it's they're getting tired or a little lackadaisical, and maybe USC's starting to wear them out, but that moxie and that swag that they've had that let them play so physically control that line of scrimmage has been missing on this series.
Impressive drive for the Trojans. Chad Wheeler, the aforementioned Wheeler, has been impressive in the weight room. Lane Kiffin said when he got on campus, he weighed 230 pounds. Now he's up close to 300, and the redshirt freshman is starting at left tackle for Kiffin's offense. 2nd down and 10 from the 35. Whittick to the air to Lee. Got a step, tripped up from behind, but another USC first down. Magid got him from behind after a 17-yard pickup for Marquise Lee.
Finally, they're trying to get the ball into Marquise Lee's hands very quickly. Whittick seems to be warmed up throwing the football. That's exactly what it is you want to do. Great move. Selling D. Magid on the outside. Magid lined up there with inside leverage and still can't keep Lee from being able to catch the quick slant and moving the chains.
And now USC going no huddle with Whittick. Pump fakes. Plenty of time. Now he's going to step up and run. And he's tackled at the 16-yard line. And that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. It was 20-5 at the half. It's 20-5 after 3. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by Pep Boys. Well, let's take a look at the game summary brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you to drink responsibly.
Yeah, early on, the Hawaii defense was being responsible and bowing their back and making plays, but then Nelson Aguilar on the 35-yard corner route comes in with a touchdown. But really the story of the game has been this USC defense, the turnovers that they've caused, 4 interceptions, this one for a pick 6 that Josh Shaw took back to the house. It's been all Trojan defense and been very hard going for this Rainbow Warrior offense.
This USC drive, just over 3 minutes in length, 8 plays, 74 yards. That's very nice of them to welcome us here. It's actually the first time USC has ever appeared on CBS Sports Network. Hawaii fans hoping for a comeback here in the 4th quarter. 2nd down and 8. Marquise Lee trying to get him space again. Breaks one tackle. Lee's still going. And he's tackled at the 3-yard line. 1st down and goal, USC, a 14-yard gain for the Trojans.
That's what you want to do. You hit the nail on the head, Andrew. That's just a simple bubble screen. Put 2 receivers out to that left side, get it to the one in the middle, get north and south.
Tonight's Red Zone is being brought to you by Verizon. USC in the red zone, 1st and goal from the 3. Justin Davis slips, spins, and he goes down at the 5-yard line.
Some great penetration early on that line of scrimmage. See Hawaii defenders behind the line of scrimmage, and Davis got the handoff and wasn't able to fully protect it, so that threw off his timing. So much of the run game, Andrew, is timing. The backs have to know where the linemen are. The linemen have to know where the backs are. When there's penetration and a bobble, it makes it virtually impossible to get forward momentum.
Javaris Allen into the game at running back for the Trojans on 2nd and goal. Whittick rolls
back
out
of the end zone.
as a man wide open, incomplete. That was Telfer in the back of the end zone, and Whittick couldn't hit him.
Both of these quarterbacks that I've seen from USC in the fall do a good job of being able to throw the football out of the pocket, but he's got him right there. He needs a little bit of touch. That would have been a tough ball to be able to get down, but there was something there. And this is the area, remember again, Andrew, that USC has really struggled. They've been okay down here thus far tonight, but this was an area last year that was very, very difficult on the Trojans.
On 3rd and goal, Whittick in the shotgun. And Lane Kiffin runs down the field to call timeout.
Timeout, USC, their 2nd of the half.
Second timeout this half for Lane Kiffin and the Trojans. Hawaii kicking off its second season in the Mountain West Conference. And some changes this year in the Mountain West. 2 new teams, San Jose State and Utah State. 2 6-team divisions. I love the names, Mountain and West. Hawaii's in the West. And there'll be a title game this year, first time ever, to decide the Mountain West champion, December 7th, 10 Eastern on CBS. Conference continues to grow. Obviously, it was huge last year for the conference with Boise State and San Diego State staying put. Both those teams look to be good this year as well. It's going to be another competitive year in the league.
Yeah, no question. I think the early odds-on favorites at Fresno State out of the West is going to face Boise State out of the Mountain. But just like last year, a lot of things can happen. Boise lost that unexpected game to San Diego State, and that kind of shook things up. And that's why we played the games. But from top to bottom, the Mountain West is as good this year as they've ever been.
The fullback Pinner in motion on 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, Whittick, pump fakes, still has it. And Whittick is dragged down at the 5-yard line. Another great job by this Hawaii defense. Moses Samia leading the charge.
Moses Samia has had a tremendous football game. So has Marcus Malalaipai, doing a good job. Pump fake, he wants to throw it, but great coverage on that back end. Remember, this Hawaii defense was 11th in the country in pass defense last year, only allowing 182 yards per game, and we saw that same great coverage in the backfield on that last play.
Hidari out for a short field goal. He's 2 for 2 tonight, and this 23-yarder makes him 3 for 3. Had the 52-yarder at the end of the half. 3 field goals tonight from Hidari, and USC increases its lead.
.10 remaining here in the 4th quarter. USC with a 23-5 lead over Hawaii, and USC with 22 freshmen on their roster, one of whom was just out for that field goal, holding the ball. Long snapper Zach Smith. He was already a star before he stepped on campus, and it was because of this video that he made during his free time after he committed to USC. Did it with a few friends. It took him a couple weeks to put together, but guys, I've seen some amazing trick shot videos in my time. I think this one takes the cake.
That's just amazing.
Tell you what, talk about having some time on your hands. Good night.
It's like that old MJ and Larry Bird commercial.
Right. Playing
horse.
Incredible. Tell you what, though, I played with David Benn with the San Diego Chargers. I think he had the most career starts ever for the Chargers. Made a lot of money for a long time. That young man has some success. You can make some money in the NFL, buddy.
Gann is back deep for Hawaii. And he steps out at the 15-yard line. Penalty flag comes in late.
Personal foul, late hit, number 22, the kicking team. Penalty be enforced 15 yards, first down.
See right there, 22 coming in. Gant about to run out of bounds. Man, I don't know about that call there, Andrew. It looked like his feet were still in bounds and certainly like he was trying to continue to make a play. I don't know if I agree with that call.
Graham will throw, and the pass is caught. That's Marcus Kemp on the grab. But this USC defense has been an incredible story tonight. That front seven, which Lane Kiffin and Clancy Pendergast talked a lot about, has really held up well against this Hawaii offensive line. Constant pressure the entire night.
And that's exactly why he wants to dial up that pressure, and he's done it with both his defensive linemen and bringing guys from the second and third levels.
Laka runs for a Hawaii first down.
Hawaii had so much energy earlier in this game, Andrew. They got to be able to have something that gets that spark back. They're kind of flat. They were in this ball game through the first half, no question. They've got to have some success here offensively so they can build from this and get back into this game.
Graham trying to stretch the field here, looking for the deep ball. Incomplete.
I'm not so sure that number 4, Torrin Harris, wasn't grabbing on and got away with one right there. You see him smiling, he's shaking his head. But keep your eye, once this ball's in the air, no problem there. Right there. It looked like he had his right arm inside, right there. He's grabbing his arm, which forces the wide receiver Marcus Kemp to attempt a one-handed pass. USC got real lucky on that one.
Well, you and about 30,000 people at Aloha Stadium agree on that. Boos raining down from the fans here in Honolulu. Marcus Kemp, the intended receiver. No call on the play, so it's 2nd down and 10. Graham back to the air. Throws over the middle, and that would have been the 2nd interception for Dion Bailey.
Again, pressure off that outside. Taylor Graham, when we talked to Norm Chow, said one of the things that he struggles with is locking on his primary receiver, going through his read progressions. Right here, he looks the safety. He sees that Pollard moves over, but he doesn't see the underneath guy, Dion Bailey, there. For some reason, Dion Bailey, number 18, has been invisible tonight for Taylor Graham.
So 3rd down and 10. Graham's pass is juggled and nearly intercepted by Torrin Harris. Marcus Kemp couldn't bring it down. Harris nearly had USC's 5th pick of the night.
Now you got to consider what's happened with Marcus Kemp, number 14. Torrin Harris has to be feeling pretty good about what's been going on. Taylor Graham puts the ball again where Marcus Kemp can catch it. But again, concentration for young receivers is very, very hard to do. That's part of their maturation process, and that one almost cost the Rainbows big time.
Guzman kicks it away. Lee calls for a fair catch at the 14-yard line. Taylor Graham is 12 out of 33, and the Rainbow Warriors down big. USC in front 23-5. Coming up next, it's Inside College Football presented by Go RVing with highlights and analysis from tonight's matchups, plus previews of the big games coming up this weekend. It's Inside College Football presented by Go RVing with Adam Zucker, Brian Jones, Randy Cross, and Houston Nutt. Coming up next on CBS Sports Network as we take a look at the AP Top 10 in South Carolina already with a win in the Bucks earlier tonight against North Carolina.
I was pretty impressed with the way that Connor Shaw played today. You know, he's an extremely mobile quarterback. I think he threw well early. I think he was able to make some plays with his feet. But South Carolina is an interesting team. Davion Clowney, I think, got a very clear message that teams aren't going to let him pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. He had an extra person on him the entire game.
Winnick's pass complete to Marquise Lee. That's a USC 1st down, 11-yard pickup on the play. Let's take a look at Aaron's Heisman hopefuls. Clowney is on that list. Marquise Lee is not.
Well, I think when they didn't give the Heisman Trophy to Ndamukong Suh several years back, that a defensive player was never going to be worthy of it. But I think we might see that change this year with Jadeveon Clowney because of the door that Manti Te'o opened up for him finishing 2nd last year.
5-yard penalty, 1st down.
But some of those other guys, Braxton Miller, explosive playmaker, when he puts his foot in the ground and gets north and south, and A.J. McCarron, Aaron Murray, he's got a big test here early in week 1. And I think a very underestimated and underrated quarterback in the Pac-12 is Marcus Mariota. I think he's considered a dual-threat quarterback, but he can wing it.
Keep it on the ground to Justin Davis. But Aaron, why no Marquise Lee on your Heisman hopeful list?
Well, we'll get to that here in a second. Marquise Lee certainly has the ability to be able to do it. Keep your eye on the 2nd-level defenders trying to be able to get the football and watch the way that they flow to the football. Right there, getting outside leverage on the tight end, Xavier Grimble. Great job Great job that time by Gerald Garcia Williams. That's exactly what it is you have to do when you're a contained football player.
2nd down and 14 for the Trojans. Whittick play action. Looking deep for Aguilar. And he can't get there. Aguilar had a step, and now a late flag comes in. Naquan Phillips on the coverage for Hawaii. Haven't been too many deep shots in this game for either team. USC tried one there.
Pass interference, number 1 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, touchdown.
Well, I think the officials absolutely got this one right. Take a look at Naquan's right arm right there, but that's the exact same thing that happened when the shoe was on the other foot. When Marcus Kemp got grabbed on his arm, that's why you hear the boos from this crowd. Yes, it was an accurate call, but they're not happy that they didn't get the bounce, particularly at home.
That's a 1st down for the Trojans. Whittick again looking for a lead. Pass is broken up. Phillips was right there.
You know what I love about that? Naquan Phillips being aggressive just after he got called for a penalty for being too aggressive. That shows a maturity that this young sophomore, I think, is going to be able to help him out of Miami, Florida. You got to be able to play aggressive with those guys. And going back to Marquise Lee about the Heisman Trophy, I certainly think he's somebody that's got potential. I just think with 2 young quarterbacks, the issues they have on their offensive line, and with what we've seen tonight, I think teams are going to roll safeties to him, and his numbers will go down this year.
Nothing in the 1st quarter, but he's got 85 yards since then, and Justin Davis continues to impress. 19-yard pickup for Davis.
What I love about Justin Davis is his open field running ability. He's a good north-south runner, but keep your eye on 82 right here. Randall Telfer does a good job. Remember, last time Gerald Williams couldn't get him there. He stays with his block just enough to push him past, and that's what springs Davis.
Davis has 66 yards on the ground. Madden has 80 yards on the ground. Inside 10 minutes to play.
Oh, one-on-one up top with Nelson Aguilar. Tell you, this Hawaii secondary coaching staff showing some confidence, leaving some of those guys one-on-one with some of the most athletic
Timeout, USC.
Wide receivers in the country.
That's USC's final timeout of the half. See, Hawaii did a great job in that 1st quarter defensively against USC, but since then the Trojans have gotten it going. And Aaron, Lane Kiffin said that he really ideally wants to have 1 quarterback for the season. Where is he right now with 10 minutes to go in this game between Whittick and Kessler?
Well, I tell you what, the game's not over yet, and before USC fans start calling for Max Whittick, and look how much more successful this offense was, a significant difference that Cody Kessler didn't have was the advent of the running game. Justin Davis has been a big part of those 200-plus yards in these last 2.5 quarters, and that running game was just not there. Remember all that praise we were giving Hawaii and their defense for being able to stuff the run. Whittick's first 6 or 7 plays, he only threw the ball once or twice because that running game and that offensive line and the tight ends are finally starting to block up front, and that's opening things up for this offense.
Whittick is 4 out of 7, all 4 completions to Marquise Lee. Kessler went 10 out of 19 for 95 yards. Davis loses the football. USC scoops it up. John Martinez. Man, he was trying to put that on the highlight reel. He was not thinking about falling on it. He picked it up, started running.
Let me tell you what, that's every big dude's dream, to go rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. But Justin Davis has to be able to put this football away. Great job of stripping that football out. That aggression from Hawaii starting to come back. But come on, the coaching point on Martinez, get yourself on the ground. Brendan Daly doing a good job of punching that ball off. and shedding his blocker to make the play.
10-yard loss, 2nd and 20. They give it to Trey Madden this time. Madden moves across midfield.
Just a simple lead draw, trying to get those guys to blitz and come upfield. Maybe you can split it and get an isolation block with your fullback or one of your linebackers. But USC, when they go back and look at this tape and they chart this out, all their success has been on the edges on this defense. They haven't been able to have any any success in between the tackles.
3rd down and long for Whittick. Needs to get to the 31-yard line to pick up a 1st down. Whittick looking deep. Aguilar leaps. Can't make the catch. That one hung up there for a little while. Aguilar had room, had a step on the defense, but the ball was in the air too long.
Excellent, excellent play by Merrill Jackson. The safety that's over the top doing a great job of coming off of Marquise Lee and dislodging Aguilar from the football. That was 3-on-2 played at its best. Look at the safety coming off of Lee, and you see Aguilar feeling those footsteps, and number 10 can't come down with the football. Maybe that's why he tied the team for tackles last year, with making plays like that. Excellent job by number 10.
Illegal substitution on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
2nd time this drive that USC has been guilty of illegal substitution.
Look at Lane Kiffin's face, man. He can't be happy. Remember, he told us he wanted to be able to protect the football tonight. They just put it on the ground, and they didn't want to be too big little, meaning we don't want to have big plays down the field and they kind of chip away. We wanted to play consistent and eliminate the negative plays, but there's certainly a lot of stuff for this Trojan offense to work on. They've been far from perfect.
Harding catches the punt at the 10, and he is dragged down at the 16-yard line by Vanuku of USC. Trojans still on top. Eight minutes to go, 4th quarter. USC up 23-5. Let's take a look at our Geico difference makers.
Well, if you watch any of this game, you know that USC defense has been getting after the quarterback. Leonard Williams kind of led the charge, controlling that line of scrimmage. Excellent play. Expect a big season out of him. Really impressed with number 11 with what he's been able to do. 2 PBUs. But I got to tell you, this could probably be a group award for this defense, as Merrill Jackson's played great, Brendan Daly's played great, Gerald Garcia Williams has played well. I've been really impressed from top to bottom with the Rainbow Warriors.
Graham is sacked. 8th time tonight that Graham has been sacked, and that time it was Marcus Simmons getting back there.
You see Marcus Simmons again coming off the edge, applying pressure. Taylor Graham has to have a sense, know what his protections are, know where his hot reads are, because USC has been coming in unimpeded and getting after the quarterback on a regular basis. Why audibling, so's the Trojan defense. Pressure again off this edge.
Just gets off the play. That pass is caught by Chris Gant. But again, more short underneath stuff for Hawaii. They've not really tried to stretch the field throughout this game.
All the safety pressure, man, run some bubble screens underneath, coming back in, tunnel screens, to try and get them to spread out, hit that seam, you'll be gone.
Graham flushed out. Throws on the run. It's caught by Gant. And that's a 1st down for Hawaii. 14-yard pickup on the play for Chris Gant.
Excellent job by Chris Gant on this play. It breaks down a little bit. There's pressure. Graham has to leave the pocket. This is the old scramble drill. If you're in the middle, mirror your deceiver. But right there, bam, stick your foot in, get north and south, and he gets the 1st down. At the very end there, excellent effort by Chris Gant. And you're not surprised that it's a senior making those heads-up plays.
Dion Bailey walks slowly off the field. Bailey had off-season shoulder surgery and was slowed this summer.
Again, that's a position that they can ill afford to get guys banged up. Bailey's been banged up all the camp. Played a lot tonight and been played well.
Laka makes the catch in the flat. Five-yard pickup for the redshirt freshman.
Devian Shelton, the redshirt freshman corner. Number 17 that time, missing some tackles.
Graham doesn't get rid of it and nearly pays the price, but there's a flag here right at midfield.
A lot of contact between Chris Grant and some of those defenders, including 17 Devion Shelton. Interesting to see what the officials call here. So hard for those young cornerbacks to have the confidence and the wherewithal to not mug them.
Holding the 17 of the defense on an eligible receiver. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Keep your eye at the bottom of the screen right here. Gets pushed, but he basically pushes him down and grabs him a little bit further down the field than maybe he should have. And again, Devion Shelton is playing for the injured Kevon Seymour. USC very, very thin, getting thinner in their defensive backfield.
Misfire there from Graham. He's 15 out of 37 tonight with 4 interceptions. And Norm Chow said he's got all the physical attributes that he likes to see. However, the lack of game experience is really what concerned Norm Chow coming into this, and it's been a rough night for Taylor Graham. That pass is completed, incomplete.
Yeah, it popped out very at the end. But you know what I like about that? I like the touch that Taylor Graham threw on that pass. He gave his receiver a chance to catch it. So many times tonight, the reason he's only got 15 completions is because they would have put a ton of mustard and zip on those balls, not even giving his guys a chance to catch it. That time, at least, it was softer, but the receiver didn't come up with it.
That was Donnie King Jr. who couldn't make the catch. 3rd down and 10. This time looking deep for Kirkwood. Great catch, and then it comes out at the end. Incomplete coverage on the play from Shelton. Wow, Kirkwood had that one almost all the way to the ground, and it came out at the last minute.
Great job this time by Stephen Laka picking up the pressure to allow this to happen. Keith Kirkwood goes up and gets it, but you got to give Devion Shelton credit where credit's due. He grabs his arms, forcing Kirkwood, leaving him unable to be able to bring that football down. Right after he makes a mistake, he comes back and makes a big play. That's huge for a cornerback at a position where you need a ton of confidence to play.
Hawaii forced to punt. Marquise Lee back deep for the Trojans. Fair catch called for by Lee with 5:27 to go in the 4th quarter. USC up 23-5.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Pep Boys. Trust the boys to get you there. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Icy Hot, America's #1 topical pain reliever.
Business trip for USC, but it's hard not to be impressed with the beauty of Hawaii. Aloha Stadium, 50,000 seats, 39th season of football at Aloha Stadium. And right now, the hometown Rainbow Warriors down 23-5. As this game has been dominated by the USC defense. Madden on the carry for USC. He's got some room down the sideline. Madden is knocked out of bounds after a big pickup on the play. Trey Madden and Justin Davis. A freshman and a sophomore carrying the load tonight for the Trojans.
If you can see him up at the top of your screen, number 1, Naquan Phillips right there doesn't show up. They broke contain, and again, the vulnerable spot on the ground for this Hawaii defense has been out on the edges. Everybody got sucked inside, and Madden did a great job of bouncing it.
Whittick looking deep for Marquise Lee. Has a step. Lee can't make the play.
I'm telling you, I don't know what it is with Marquise Lee. Maybe he's not focused, maybe the lack of practice and being banged up. But in last year's game, the first game of the season, he had several big drops as well. Max Whittick standing strong in the pocket, getting popped, but delivers a BB perfectly thrown. I mean, the only thing Max Whittick did wrong there is he hit Marquise Lee in his hands. I mean, are you kidding me? That's what you...
Got to make that catch. Been a tough night for Marquise Lee. Travaris Allen on the carry for the Trojans. You're just not used to seeing that out of Marquise Lee.
That's a concentration deal. It's certainly not ability. But a lot of people were wondering whether or not Marquise Lee, how's he going to translate to the next level? Let's be clear. The scouts absolutely love this kid, but there are a lot of improvements that he can make in his game. His route running can get sharper, his concentration and hands can get sharper. He's got great hands. He attacks the football, but I think at times he just lacks concentration.
3rd down and 11 for the Trojans with 4:15 to go in the 4th quarter. Whittick over the middle to Marquise Lee.
This is where he's special.
He's got a first down and knocked out of bounds. 18 yards on the play.
That's where Marquise Lee is special. Most of his big plays come with yards after the catch. Simple crossing route, ball travels in the air, maybe 5 yards. Whittick does a great job of leading him so that he can use his acceleration to get upfield. Acceleration, if there's one characteristic of Marquise Lee, I'd say that that's it. He goes from 0 to his top gear very, very quickly.
Now over 100 yards receiving after that catch for Marquise Lee, and he goes to the sideline to get a breather. Inside 4 to play. Allen carrying the pile forward, still going. Travaris Allen picks up 8.
We didn't see that in the first half. What we saw in the first half was Hawaii flying around, giving them lots of compliments of how they were flying to the football. Now they look tired. We talked about Tavita Woodward. Look at all the hands on the shoulders. These guys are tired. They're worn out. Hands on the shoulders, no fire, nobody trying to get a stop. This is 2nd down. Whatever it was that Hawaii's defense used early on in this ball game is worn thin.
Pitch to Justin Davis, and he's upended at the 16-yard line.
Love this play call, Andrew, because we've been complimenting Hawaii's defense on their pursuit. Remember, their second-level players, their backside players flying to the football. Well, what happens is when defensive players stop leaving home and there's nobody backside, that's a great switch up and change up and a great call by Lane Kiffin to take advantage of that defense. Now, what that'll do is it'll now keep those backside players home and maybe possibly open up that middle or the front side run game.
Back on the ground at Justin Davis, trying to kick it outside, and he's tackled at the 13-yard line. TJ Taimatuia on the tackle for the Rainbow Warriors.
Nice job, partner. I like it.
Tonight's Red Zone is being brought to you by Verizon.
Oh, full disclosure is that we practiced saying a lot of the names by reading street signs this week.
Well, that and the Hawaii jerseys, the green, the dark green on black is not announcer friendly. I could say Honolulu, but that's a big bright sign with white letters.
I have no problems with the other one. East 78 H3. I don't see what the big deal is. Now here's where you got to play for pride if you're Hawaii, right? You've been playing great all game. It doesn't look good for you, but bow your back, have some pride, and keep these guys out of the end zone, or at least force them to a field goal here on 3rd down.
Javaris Allen on 3rd and 3. Knocks over one, and a first down for USC. Well, Javaris Allen bulked up in the offseason, and he showed off his muscle right there.
That was powerful. That wasn't quite the response that I was talking about. But good night. That is a big physical run, and exactly what it is you want to be able to do as a defensive player. You cannot allow yourself to get run over like that. Charles Clay is going to be very, very upset watching film because that just wasn't a good effort.
Timeout, Hawaii. Their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
Timeout called for by Hawaii. And this USC defense, keep in mind, without Morgan Breslin tonight, who's out with a high ankle injury, they have still been very dominant up front. That front seven has been so impressive, applying pressure, a total of 7 sacks on the night.
Without question, I think that this front seven at this point is the strength of this, not only the defense, but the team. Tremendous ability to be able to get after the quarterback. We've seen some great individual performances by Leonard Williams, Devon Kennard. I tell you what, even Deion Bailey was getting in that action, being able to get after it a little bit. George Uko, that front seven has been tremendous. Clancy Pendergast has an incredible unit on his hands, but the depth in the defensive back end is going to be a concern for this team moving forward. So many explosive offenses in the Pac-12. Can you leave those guys on an island by pinning your ears back and trying to get after the passer? That is going to be a fun storyline, and I think one of the most critical to the success or failure of USC this year.
Some of those depth issues because of the NCAA sanctions, second of a 3-year probationary period that reduces scholarships, and Justin Davis into the end zone, touchdown, USC. The true freshman Justin Davis puts 6 more on the board for the Trojans, and they go up 29-5.
This is invaluable experience by this young play. They run the gotcha pitch again. We called it a gotcha play because it gets the defense home. Not a very good effort by Naquan Phillips, who's had a pretty decent game tonight on that tackle. Justin Davis jumps over him. But again, USC got a little bit of success here in the second half, and I think to your point, they're going to have a long, hard evaluation about what it is they want to do. Max Whittick certainly looked better. Would have had a big play to Marquise Lee if it weren't for the drop. But do not underestimate this run game that's come alive in the second half for the Trojans and how much that helped out Max Whittick.
And they're doing it without Silas Redd and DJ Morgan. It's the young guys who have stepped up. As USC increases its lead, they're now up by 25. As we take a look at USC's schedule, Washington State is up next, October 19th, the big one at Notre Dame. And a team you did not see on there is Oregon. That's one of their Pac-12 misses this year.
Yeah, don't underestimate Utah State and that defense that they have. I think they've got a chance, though, to be 4-0 as they head to their first big road game after this one against Arizona State. Arizona State, I think, offensively will be a pretty good team, but defensively, 2 very similar style defenses. Well, we talked about that running game earlier. We talk about Davis and that Trojan run game and what they've been able to bring to the table. Justin Davis filling in for the injured Silas Redd. All of USC's second half rushes where they had success was getting to the perimeter, getting outside, some missed tackles that we didn't see early on, and you have to credit Davis for that. And then a couple gotcha plays at the very end, I think, put the final dagger of that Trojan sword into the heart of this Hawaii defense. It has to feel pretty dang good the way that it played through 3 quarters, but USC got some momentum going as well, and there's a lot to grow from when they watch this tape.
44 rushing attempts for the Trojans, 14 from Davis, and 188 yards on the night through the ground. USC has still not lost an opener since 1997, and they'll also keep alive another impressive streak. They have not lost a non-conference road game since 2002. That was at Kansas State.
Well, Andrew, we talked about today's game being a measuring stick on the open for both of these teams, and I said and truly believe that both of these teams will have a much better understanding about where they're at and what they need to work on. Obviously, for Hawaii, pass protection in their offensive line should be among the most priorities. That was a live football there.
Kevin Green is the man who hit Graham, and it's USC football.
That's just losing focus towards the end of the ball game.
Ruling on the field was fumble, first down.
I think they may want to take a look at that. I'm not so sure Graham's arm wasn't going forward.
Ryan Dillard is the man who scooped it up. Take another look.
Again, pressure off the outside. Great job that time by getting pressure there.
That was Kevin Green.
Previous play is under further review.
And they are going to
Yeah,
review
I think
it.
that they should take a look at this. He started his throwing motion, but whether or not his arm was coming forward when he got hit, it looked to be simultaneous. Kind of hard to tell. That look we saw right before this one was a pretty good look. So in terms of that measuring stick, for USC, there's a lot of potential on this team. This defense will keep them in a lot of football games. I think once they get their quarterback situation settled, that will help them tremendously. But health across the board for this team. Can they stay healthy through 12 regular season games? Because they didn't make it through the first quarter without having guys go down. He starts to throw his motion to come back, but it really looks like his hand is on his shoulder. They're going to have to determine whether or not the throwing motion was forward or whether he was in his windup. Heck of a job by Kevin Green. Tight end, defensive end, tight end, defensive end, tight end.
One more look at this.
Starts his throwing motion right here.
After further review, pass is incomplete. It was a forward pass, incomplete. It'll be second down at the 40. Please set the game clock to 38 seconds. 38 seconds, please.
And remember, the ruling on the field was a fumble, so that was conclusive evidence that it actually was an incomplete pass. That still doesn't change the fact that old number 81 there, Kevin Green, got to feel pretty good about getting his name called on TV here with 38 seconds left. No shortage of pass rushers for this Trojans defense. Been really impressive to watch. As a former offensive lineman, Andrew, I could tell you it's going to be a long film session on Monday for this Hawaii team. There's going to be a lot to build from these Trojans. They should be happy about the way they got after the quarterback.
Certainly defensively. And you look at one of the quote-unquote weaknesses of this team coming in, and more of a question mark was the secondary, and I thought their secondary played great tonight.
They did. There were some issues there at times. Remember, there were some big drops. There were some no calls on some pass interference that took place.
Graham taking a deep shot to Kirkwood. He's got it. Kirkwood races in for a Hawaii touchdown. A 60-yard touchdown from Graham to the freshman Keith Kirkwood.
Wait a minute. Did I disagree with you about how good their DBs were playing? We go down together, partner.
Thanks, bro.
That's exactly what this Hawaii team needed. That is going to be making that whole painful film for Taylor Graham, who had pressure in his face, showing his arm strength and precision and touch. It makes me wonder why Hawaii waited so long Norm Chow told us that that's the best thing that he does, and he beats, remember, the backup cornerback, Devion Shelton, number 17, for a touchdown.
Tyler Haddon, they faked the extra point. And they are in for 2. Woolsey takes it in. The holder, Ikaika Woolsey. And they're all fired up on the sideline for Hawaii.
If you're this Hawaii team, you have to feel good. Remember, Norm Chow told us, I just want my guys to compete. I just want them to play hard to the very end, every single play, no matter what. That's a tremendous effort to get yourself across the goal line. It's a gutsy call this late in the game. Gives all your opponents something to watch and prepare, taking valuable practice time away. But that right knee of his was really, really close to that goal line, but that great second effort gets the 2-point conversion. It could have been a little bit short there, buddy, but I think they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt here at home.
So 30-13 is our score. Late touchdown from Hawaii. Hawaii has a very tough schedule coming up at Oregon State next week, and then they go to Nevada. Fresno State comes here to Hawaii, and San Jose State. That's a tough 5-game stretch to start the season for the Rainbow Warriors.
Look at the quarterbacks that are playing on this schedule. Sean Mannion at Oregon State, Derek Carr at Fresno State, San Jose State's David Fales, Utah State Chucky Keaton, one of my favorite quarterbacks, Brett Smith at Wyoming. The Mountain West, top to bottom, may have the best quarterbacks in the country, but there's some very good teams on there. I think Hawaii is going to surpass potentially their 3 wins from a year ago.
Hawaii setting up for an onside kick with 30 seconds to go. And that is right to Telfer, who goes immediately to the ground, and USC will take over with 30 seconds to go. Well, it really is a QB conference in the Mountain West. Look at these guys. Fajardo, Carr, Fales, Smith, Keaton. Very impressive list of quarterbacks in the Mountain West.
I think the Mountain West Conference, top to bottom, is good as I've ever seen it, with the addition of Utah State, San Jose State, Fresno State coming on a year ago. And a lot of it's because of the quarterback play. A lot of these faces you're seeing could be next-level guys, and I think in particular Derek Carr and Derek Fales. Chucky Keaton's a great dual-threat quarterback. There's some impressive talent in this conference, and I think it's going to be great that we finally have a Mountain West Conference championship game to determine the conference champion on the field.
That's Ty Isaac, another true freshman, rushing the ball for the Trojans from Shorewood, Illinois. And that looks like it will be the final play of the game. Hawaii will not call its final 2 timeouts. And USC will improve to 9-0 all-time against Hawaii. Lane Kiffin's Trojans open up with a win for the 15th time in a row.
Lane Kiffin doesn't look very happy, and there's a lot to be corrected for this ball club. But there was also some very good things. I think both these teams are headed in the right direction. USC's issue is going to be, can they stay healthy? And Hawaii's issue is going to be, can they build and get better protecting the quarterback?
More to come from Aloha Stadium. USC opens up with a win 30-13 over Hawaii. This one in the books from Aloha Stadium. USC with a 30-13 win to open up the season over Hawaii. Time now to take a look at our Napa play of the game.
This is going to be the young bobble by the young receiver Marcus Kemp. And Josh Shaw, a great job doing the tip drill, heads up play, returns it for the touchdown. Constant pressure all night from that USC defense. This is a great reward for them. They should be happy about the way that they got after the passer. That was one of the positive plays from that back end tonight for that banged up DB unit.
USC defense with 4 interceptions of Taylor Graham. And Aaron, who do you think runs out for quarterback next week for USC?
Well, I tell you what, I don't know if they know any more than they did before this. I think you have to be able to factor in that run game. The good news is that USC has 2 guys that they can count on.
That'll do it from Aloha Stadium. For Aaron Taylor, Lauren Gardner, our entire crew, I'm Andrew Catalan. For scores, highlights, features, and more, go to CBSSports.com. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Once again, the final score, USC 30, Hawaii 13. Don't go anywhere. Inside College Football coming up right now on CBS Sports Network.
All right, Andrew, Aaron, thank you very much.
Aloha.
Aloha to sleep. We're coming up on 3 a.m. Eastern time here on the opening day and tonight.
It's time for a luau. What are you talking about?
Of the college football season. Adam Zucker here with Brian Jones and Houston Nutt. Hey, from 5-3 to 30-13 by the time they exchange those touchdowns at the end. Aaron was talking about how they have 2 quarterbacks they can count on, but there's a lot of work to be done, it seems like, for this USC team here, Coach.
A lot of work. And the good thing is when you win a ball game, there's nothing like going back on Sunday and correcting. You can get on them good, get on them hard. Defensive line looked pretty stout to me now, BJ. They got to the passer and really moved that offensive line back.
Yeah, but the offensive line for USC didn't look that stout. I mean, they were pushed around. Hawaii was able to get pressure on both of these quarterbacks, no matter if it was Whittick, if it was Kessler. They put pressure on them, forced them into turnover. So you're right, but it's easier to go and correct things when you got that W.
Yeah, 7 sacks, 4 interceptions. Whittick, 4 of 9. Kessler, 10 of 19. So Whittick maybe didn't get the reps that everyone but Lane Kiffin thought he was going to get because Kessler had the whole first half. Lots of things going on around the country. Another game actually still in progress. Lots to discuss when we come back in 30 seconds on Inside College Football.